Alrighty, guys, welcome back to what was previously known as Johnny Reviews. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the new and improved podcast, the Slice of Life podcast, ladies and gentlemen. On the other side of the table, we have Savanah Gonsalves. Believe me, I thought it was Hispanic. It's not. It's Portuguese.
It's actually pronounced Gonsalves.
Gonsalves? But you say Gonsalves
Gonsalves,
for everybody that...
For
all the illiterate people.
Yeah.
I swear. Well, on this podcast, ladies and gentlemen, what we do is we take people's lives and we slice them up and we just talk about the aspects of what they see as life. Savanah, how are you doing? How are you doing today?
I'm honestly a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I can tell. You're a little nervous. I can tell.
I'm in a new environment. Never been here before. I don't know you that well, but we talk pretty easily, and I've never done this before. So.
Well, you did say you wanted to do a podcast, you wanted to start your own podcast, and I
Mm-hmm.
think I want to tell everybody and anybody, I think people need to find their niche, and if you feel like you're good at podcasting, you're good at whatever you do, try it out, see if you like it. I gave her the opportunity here. She brought me some coffee. I was like, thank you, and I was like, hey, do you want to come on, just talk on a podcast to see how you would do? And she was like, yeah, sure. All right.
Yeah, it's cool to see from the behind the scene perspective, what to expect.
What do you mean?
Your setup and everything like that, and
Yeah.
you were like, you use this programming and and I had no idea how to do any of that.
There's a lot that goes into that side, the behind the scenes side. But you did tell me you're a theater person,
Mm-hmm.
and you do a lot of the backside stuff yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say it's well, it is a little different, but I would say that from that, I think you can kind of understand that, okay, yeah, this is kind of people can make it seem easy if you can make it look definitely make it seem very easy with just one person talking. But once you get bigger, you start wanting to get more people, a different co-host, you start having different topics, and then you're just like, oh, okay, wait, I need to get that sound quality out, get that, maybe do I want to put video into it? Maybe I have to do that. And it's just a lot that goes into it.
For
sure. Yeah.
But the worst that could happen is nothing comes of it, and then you're right back to the same place you were at.
100%. 100%. Right. That's why I was like, dude, you gotta try it, just to see how you like it. But what is going on in your life? How do you feel about COVID? How do you feel about 2020? How is Savanah?
So luckily, I just graduated from college in January. I was able to graduate a semester early before all of this shit went down. Thank God. I can curse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Before
Absolutely not. This is a Disney rated G podcast.
You're a Disney guy, so I wasn't.
That
sure.
is true. But no, don't. This is something different. Disney doesn't pay me.
Heard
so
that explicit is allowed. Okay.
Yes.
So before all this shit went down, the plan was for me to move to the city after college, but after everything happened, I decided to move back home and go back to the job I've had for the last 3 years, which is a server at Tijuana Flats. Very luxurious.
I love Tijuana Flats. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty
Taco
good. But
Tuesdays.
it's literally 2 minutes away from my house. That's why I'm like,
no, that's dangerous.
Very dangerous.
But I was like, okay, I'll just save up money until for 6 months or whatever, and then I'll make plans to move. And then COVID just didn't get any better. Didn't, since everything happened and business was really slow. I wasn't making as much money as I thought I could.
You thought you could?
Yeah. So then a lot of stuff was happening in my love life. I broke up and got back together with my long-term boyfriend, and then he came back to Florida, kind of moved in with me, and then right now we're planning on moving to New York by January. I got a second job, which is where I met Johnny at the at Achilles Coffee Shop. Amazing place.
It is a very amazing place. I love Aquila, the art concept, the everything. That it just feels cozy. That's the best way.
It's such a hole in the wall. I feel like a lot of coffee shops are going with the sleek white tile vibe
I don't like
right
it.
now. I know.
I feel like that's very tacky.
Yes.
Well,
everyone's doing it though.
100%. Why?
Everyone it's like my parents hate IKEA. They hate it.
Okay.
I can't relate.
I went to IKEA once, right? Just to get that little piece of wood right there. You see that piece of wood right there?
The drum.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I went there. I got lost. I've never been to IKEA.
Oh my God,
Never
it's huge.
and never searched it up. And then people are like, "Dude, you never been to IKEA?" I was like, "No, ever."
It's like a staple because they don't
Yes.
have a lot of like built like the stores in
Yes.
a lot of places.
100%.
So Orlando actually has like
They
one of the
have they
stores.
have one in Dallas and Fort Worth,
Yeah.
where I'm from, but I'm not gonna drive all the way over there
Yeah.
just to go get something. I'm just like, but it's a very unique way to do things. Like you build it, it makes you feel good that you get it a little bit cheaper. Like I guess
Yeah.
I think that's the way, and it's Swedish. Is it Sweden?
Did you try the Swedish meatballs?
No,
You
I did not try
have
the
to try the
Swedish.
Swedish meatballs.
There was too much. I was overwhelmed just
I
by getting
know.
that piece of wood.
I know. I know. And then like in order to leave, you have to go through the whole thing
Okay. Yes.
to leave.
Yes.
So, but they're very modern as well, like that kind of vibe.
100%. Yeah, I got one little thing of wood in there still from IKEA. I still haven't built it. Like I don't know. I'm just like, do I want to build it now? Like, nah, wait.
But it's pretty. Their stuff is pretty like easy to build. Like
Yeah,
instructions for dummies. If I can do it, anyone can do it.
100%.
But Achilles very opposite, and they have stuff for everyone, and like art, hookah, wine, beer, coffee, sandwiches, everything. Diverse. And
Yeah.
the people that go in there are like the best. Like something about working there as opposed to my other job. I realized my other job, we have the worst entitled customers I have ever seen.
Okay.
Achilles is like nothing like that. Everyone that goes in there, they get the vibe. Most of the people that go there are regulars, and you will see them all the
True.
time. And
Yeah.
they're so nice, and the owner like knows everyone, and it's like a mom and pop kind of vibe.
Do you think that's what? Because I feel like a lot of coffee shops should be like that. Is like not mom and pop, but I think it takes a really good person to be like in the service industry to be good at that. Like you have a friendly face. You have like you can talk to people. You have like this knack with you. Do you think that's a strength that you need to have, especially in a coffee shop?
For sure. I think it like adds to the whole environment. Like you
Okay.
could have that whole environment and then go up to the barista or whoever is working, and if
Right.
they're not giving the same thing, it completely changes the mood of the whole thing.
100%.
Like even if you like the food and you like the coffee or whatever, and you didn't have like good interactions with the people that work there, like it completely takes away from the experience of the
Yes.
place.
We talked about. I think it was Lineage. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna shit on him,
Do you feel like the people are stuck up?
dude. Yes.
So stuck up, right?
What the fuck? Like
I
I know one guy that works there that he's from Texas, and we got along pretty well. But like at that point, I never wanted to go back. It's just the seats there are very uncomfortable. It's too bright. Like I don't know. I just feel like it's so overcrowded in there all the time. So but yet when I feel like it's overcrowded at Achilles, there's a whole different vibe to it. Like
it's family.
right. Like everybody's kind of like surrounded. Like me and Rakeem, we were talking to like some other people about like we were talking about anime, but we didn't know them. We were just like
No, yeah, you didn't know me.
No, exactly.
You talk to everyone.
100%.
But when you go to a place like Lineage,
Yeah, it's kind of
it's
like
like you don't want to talk to
exclusivity. Like, oh, I don't know you. Like, I don't want to talk to you.
anyone. Yeah, like
no.
I don't even want to ask you to watch my stuff while I go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I'm shitting on coffee shops, but I love coffee shops. And just exploring here in Florida, I found some amazing coffee shops. Granted, I think coffee at Lineage is great. I just think the environment has to do with the coffee shop experience. And since coffee shops are like big, like in the United States, I just feel like it's a staple to have like not just good coffee, but good customer service, it's just a great environment. And
sure.
I've brought so many like dates, people at Achilles.
It's a great date spot.
Yes, like
Great date spot.
100%. And I'm just like, okay, this is perfect. Like this is great. I love this spot. I wouldn't say it's like my favorite, but I still think it's one of the top ones. I think so.
It is my favorite spot in Orlando.
I mean, you worked there.
But before I even worked there, I was like,
oh, you knew about the place?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's why I got hired there, was because I had been going there for like 2 or 3 years. And the owner.
Wow, holy shit.
Yeah.
And you think I'm there all the time?
Yeah. The first time I went was in high school, and then like I went out of state for college, and then I didn't really go back. And then one of my best friends goes to Valencia, and so like it's right down the street from there. And so she's like, we have to go. And I was like, oh, I've been here before. And then I was like obsessed with it, and I went like every day.
Yeah, 100%. At that point.
Like
yeah, it's like I'm hungry. I kind of want to go to Keely's. I kind
You
of
try one of their sandwiches and you're
okay.
thinking about it for days.
Oh,
And I know you didn't want to try the chicken pita, but I made you, and it's amazing.
you did. I'm apologize for that.
Thank you.
For one,
Thank you.
two, that sandwich was delicious.
I know.
I was like editing. I was doing everything. I was just like, man, I guess I'll try this sandwich. I'm like, whatever. Oh my gosh, I was like not. I was like, I came back that same that not same day, but like days later. I think that day you saw me, I was just like, I'm getting a sandwich. That's all I'm getting. And it was that sandwich. I was like, fuck.
I haven't had anything like that I didn't like there so far.
I've tried almost a lot of their sandwiches, but you're right. That one was probably the best one.
Thank you.
Okay, so where are you from? What do you do? You said you're film. You're in the theater. What? Elaborate on this.
Okay. So I was born in New Jersey. I moved when I was 7, and then my family moved to Orlando. I went to elementary school here, middle school here, high school here, and when I was in high school, I didn't really want to go to the high school I was zoned for, and I had been doing like local theater, and my mom found this high school that had a theater magnet, which is a magnet is pretty much like you have to apply or audition, and then they accept you, and you'll be able to go there if you're not zoned for that school.
Okay.
So that's what I did. There was a theater magnet at Dr. Phillips High School. Shout out Dr. Phillips. And I got in, and I did that all of high school. I was in the theater magnet, did multiple performances, competitions, all that fun stuff, and then college came around, and I was like, oh, I've been doing this practically my whole life. Like, I'm obviously going to go to college for, like, acting.
Right.
And then I went to Unifieds, which is a big conference, kind of like a whole bunch of performing arts colleges from, like, around the United States. We'll go to Chicago or New York. And so you can audition for all of these places in one spot, so you don't have to travel out of state to go and audition for all these places.
That's efficient.
Very efficient and very fun. So I went to New York for Unifieds and auditioned for, like, I think 6 different schools, and I was like, wow, I fucking hated this. Like,
It's not what you thought.
No, I was like, oh my God, I was so stressed. I've never cried so much.
Okay, okay.
I was like nervous. I was like, I hate auditioning. And that's all that this life is auditioning for the rest of your life and hoping to get one yes out of 100 no's.
All of no's, yeah.
Yeah.
Does that do something to you?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay, this is another reason why I wanted to invite you on. I've had actors from the film side, and they tell me, like, how discouraging it is. And sometimes even, like, I was talking to him even my last episode with he just came on. Just the idea of failure, like how it feels, like is that all the same in that world?
It tears you down for sure. It's like, especially in theater when you're like a struggling actor, like the main thing people do is move to New York City, one of the most expensive cities in the freaking United States.
We love New York still.
We do. I'm still planning to move there. Still doing it to myself.
Brooklyn.
But you go there and you struggle to pay rent, and you're doing like serving jobs in order to pay for rent, and then you're auditioning and doing all this extra work on the side, hoping to like finally get something, and it could be years before you get a yes to even like the smallest of things. And it's also like you have so much competition because it's New York City. Like, you're competing with all of these people.
Everybody.
And you could be the best. It could go down to like your looks. That I think is the hardest part, because sometimes they'll even I went to a Disney casting call one time when I first turned of age, where like 18 or something, where I could. And I was like, I'm just gonna do it to see what it is. Like, what's the process like? And I go there, 18-year-old me, and they put like 30 people in a room, and they literally just scan you, and they look at you, and then they go, okay, number 17 and number 19 can stay. Everyone else go. And they kept like 2 people out of the 30 that were in there based off of strictly looks. It's hard.
I love Disney Company. I am currently furloughed, but at the same time, I can say some of the negative things about Disney, and one of those big negative things is that. But it's the idea of it. I think that they're trying to stay consistent on is the idea of like Cinderella's always going to look a specific way. you know, all these different people, they come on thinking that that Disney is gonna give them that yes, and you know it's a nightmare for people that don't think like their hopes are so high, and then like I've seen it. I've dealt with even people on either side, but that's something that I feel like that you're right. Like you can understand it because you're on this side of entertainment where you're constantly having to I guess please like all these people. And I think that's oh my gosh, that's like for me anyways, like even I wanted to be an actor once, and
I feel like everyone does
way back in the day. So like at that point I was just like, can I do it? Am I even like able to? Nah. If they're looking for a Mexican, okay, I'll do it. If they're looking for like an Arab looking guy, I'll do it. Like that's what I'm saying. Like
right.
I'm like, I'm not gonna be into the serious role thing. Like maybe if I get called one time, maybe. But I just know they're gonna go off the look. So I'm just like, all right, it's whatever.
And it costs a lot of money too, because it's one of the professions where you like make the least, but you also have to spend the most.
Yes, okay, and it's high risk, small payout.
Reward.
Or yeah. So it's that makes sense. That makes total sense.
Because like you would have to, if you want good recognition and like be sent in for good things, you would want an agent, or you would want like a talent manager,
right?
Or which is the field that I want to get into, but we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Thanks for the coffee, by the way. I really love.
Is it good?
Yes. I mean, it's tea. I know it
has caffeine.
It's caffeine. But is it the chai tea?
Raspberry chai.
Raspberry chai. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyways,
so yeah, you would want all those things, which you have to pay for, and then you're paying for like commute, obviously,
right.
And then all for like sometimes you go to an open call and you're waiting out in the cold or whatever in the middle of the city, and you don't even get seen, and they're like, oh, yeah, so you'll a lot when in college, all of my roommates were musical theater majors, so they would wake up at the ass crack of dawn at like 4:30 in the morning, and they'd take a train into the city and go to these open calls, sit outside of the Pearl Studios, Ripley Greer Studios, whatever they're holding the auditions, and they'll wait there for hours just for them to turn around and like not even get seen. So yeah, it's very little reward and you want to pay for like singing lessons, dance lessons, acting lessons, anything that can help you improve, because they teach you in the industry. They're like, if you're not actively working like on yourself and your craft, then you're like not going to get anywhere. Honestly, like the theater industry and musical theater industry is like pretty toxic. Yeah.
So there's like 3 key points that I want to talk about.
So many things.
100%. One of the big things that I remember, like I was like, I wanted to talk about, especially, is that we talked about theater kids, all right? So when I looked at you, you were talking about that. I was like, you do not look like a theater kid at all. But then I remember.
Thank you for the compliment.
Sure, you can take it as a compliment. See, like,
I do.
No, 100%. But granted, I'm dumb as fuck, so don't take what I'm about to say serious. But there's a depiction of theater kids that just is, I'm shouldn't even be stereotyping, but it kind of goes along with these extreme, like, wow.
Of course. And I think we all know the theater kid stereotype. And I can assure you there are those stereotypes out there as real people. Like many.
100%.
Many, plenty. But
you didn't scream that out. Like, I didn't feel that. And that's why I was like, you're not a theater kid. Shut up.
No, those are the cool theater kids.
See? And I was just like, well, I was a band kid. And I was like, but I wasn't like band kid.
Yeah.
Like, you know? So.
But I could look at you and be like, and when you say I was in band, I'm like, oh yeah, you were. Like,
how dare you? Thank you. I'll take it as a compliment, actually.
Good.
Look at those drum set over there. I'm like,
yeah, drums is like the best instrument you can play in a band.
100%. Like, you're like the rebellion guy. You're just like, I don't know.
My mom did percussion.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I see why.
Yeah, she's a badass.
That's what I'm saying. I was just like a badass. But that was one key point. Why? That's what made me hate theater. Like, I'm not saying like I need to be an extra, but do you have to be extra all the time?
You're asking the non-stereotypical.
The non-stereotypical, because you deal with more theater people than I do.
There's just some people that seriously live, breathe, eat, sleep musical theater.
Is that bad? Oh, I struck a nerve.
No, I know many people, and one in particular. This girl just literally eats, sleeps, breathes musical theater. She is constantly singing. You can hear her in her dorm room constantly, always.
But she's good.
It's sure. She's not bad.
Who is this person that you're talking about?
I will show you after. I don't feel like exposing her like that. She's under fire for a lot right now. But yeah, she just genuinely like doesn't even mean to be annoying, obviously.
Right.
But she literally just did so much and can't picture her doing anything else. Like I remember one time like a guest teacher came in and they held like a lab for all the musical theater students, and they were like, what would be something you would be doing if you weren't doing this right now? And everyone else had answers, and she was like, oh, I would die. I could not. I couldn't do anything else. This is my craft, my love. Like people like that, which is great. And
the teacher was looking at her like, all right, shut the fuck up.
I was like, okay, don't kid yourself. No, but honestly, some people do have that frame of mind, and that probably helps them in the long run
100%.
because they're so focused on that one goal, and that is all that they see for themselves, and they will do whatever they can to get that. And like, granted, she does get work and she does do things because she is so relentless, but like that's probably where the stereotype comes in, because they just live,
eat, drink, everything they can consume into that. I feel like a lot of something is a bad thing. Even though you're talking about success and failure, like do you think that has to stem from the idea of like that can go into any other aspect of life, but you're just putting it into like your craft now?
Sure, yeah. I can't really speak from experience on this,
right?
But I can only imagine that like you have to have other outlets, especially if it doesn't work out.
100%.
Because if it doesn't work out and like all of it comes crashing down, then like what are you?
Exactly.
What do you do? Like you're completely lost.
Yeah, and I remember talking to you about this, and I was just like, you talked about theater, but then it's like when we were talking more like just us, and we were just like, okay, yeah, what else are you like? What else can you show for, or what else are you good at? What else can you? And sometimes I feel like we're living in an age now where I think people just want to like stay in one box and just kind of, that's comfort. It's comforting.
Yeah.
Is that also something like a dilemma even for let's just say even that entertainment of business? Is that a thing like there where they just want to stay in there for God knows how long?
Yeah, like when I mean, it's like something I experienced in high school. I was like, oh, I've done this all my life. It's all I know. Like I'm going to audition for this. And then it was hard because I got accepted to schools, but it was hard for me to be like, okay, let me try and do something else and put like my effort into that and see if that works out for me. Like, and that was for college. So that was a pretty big step for me. But I know a lot of people who went to college for musical theater and are now that everything's going on and like theater is basically like up in flames right now. 100%.
I was going to talk, we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. Keep going.
They're having an existential crisis because they're like, oh my God, I've done everything to like get here, and now I don't even know like if it's like worth it anymore. Right. And they're like, well, what else do I do, because this is all I've done.
Right.
So yeah, that's what I have to say about that.
Okay. I just think like especially entertainment business, with 2020 speculating, what do you think is going to happen like with entertainment in general, especially that, because film I think is different. It's a different monster.
Of places, like a lot of shows I've already started refilming and everything about that. But theater is hard because it's live, and so like there's new people coming in and out like every day. I think it will definitely in the near future, if not near future, in the future, create a lot more creative outlets, like different creative ideas, like from playwriters and stuff like that. They will try to, I feel like it will open up a whole new like way of doing theater. Like, I don't know if it's like social distance related or like there's so much room for innovation right now, and like things that we've never seen before, that I think that they could really like play that up and play into that. So I think we'll see a lot of new, what's the word?
The word of the day.
It starts with an I. Innovative. Did I say that? Anyways.
Innovative. Maybe.
I feel like there will be a lot of like new innovative ways to do theater at this point.
Okay.
But also on the other side of the coin, it could go to complete shit, and theater will not be making as much money, of course, and people will be scared to go, all of these things. But I think a lot of theaters, I think they're opening up Broadway in January. I think that's their goal. They may do like different seating and stuff. Is this answering your question, or am I just rambling?
No, I think it's
Okay.
answering parts of the question, and I think that's why I'm just thinking about it. I'm just like looking at like Broadway. When I went to New York and I saw like before everything was closed.
What did you see?
No, it was just like I didn't see a show. I was
okay.
just like I went on the street and I was just like we were just looking at it like dude, we were talking about like just imagine everything fucking closed. And then like just thinking like how vacant it would be and there was nobody here. And I was like, fuck, that would suck, especially for all these theater companies.
Yeah.
And I love theater. Like I love aspects of theater that I think just like scream that there's authenticity and entertainment, but it's live and you can adapt to your environment. It's not like film where you can cut.
You're
and,
completely immersed
yes.
in the experience.
Saturday,
and it is an experience.
yes, like SNL, and I think that's like it's one of those things that is just like stems through the test of time, and it keeps working.
That's partially why I love it.
Yeah.
Also, when I went to Unified's, fun fact.
Very fun fact.
In New York City, it was one of the only days that there was a huge snowstorm.
Fuck.
And it was like they shut down Broadway. That was one of the rare days that no shows played or anything. I have never seen the city like that. First of all, you had to walk everywhere because there was no taxis on the road. Nothing.
Yeah.
Like no one's driving.
Yeah.
The Broadway is not happening.
Fuck.
I have never seen it that dead. It's crazy.
And that was
a
just
completely different
city.
city.
And that was just like a matter of weeks maybe. Like right now, it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
No, man. It's crazy to believe all that stuff. And fuck, like, as an entertainer, because we live in kind of like the entertainment capital of Florida, I guess, and we're just kind of like looking at it from our little bubble. Mm-hmm. It's just hard to consume. I don't know, wrap our heads around like how much 2020 has impacted everything besides like the little bubble we live in. Mm-hmm. So because of that, I just look at it and I'm just like, whoa, like what's the perspective of these people, like especially our age? Do you think TikTok has a lot is gonna okay? Speaking of TikTok, do you think a lot of theater and implementations like at the innovative things and is gonna just end up happening online? I just think of TikTok.
There's already a lot of like online stuff happening. Like actors who can't stand, like theater kids who eat, breathe, and sleep theater, like can't stand to not be doing theater at all times. So I know a lot of people who have already like immersed themselves into like the online theater community, and a lot of theaters, in order to stay afloat, will like host like showcases and stuff online to raise money for their theater while it's shut down in a time like this. So I've like already seen some stuff like that, but on a bigger scale, like it could get even bigger if like bigger theaters or bigger names start putting stuff out there.
Fuck. No, it's
definitely not
crazy.
The same.
No,
it's not the same at all. So,
I'm just looking at it from how old are we? 22, 23, and like we're just kind of like looking at it from our little worlds. Like, I think that's why I like doing the podcast, especially like our age group is a whole different breed, I guess. You were born 90s, right?
97.
97? Yeah. Doesn't matter. What I'm saying is I had the same comment. We were born in the 90s, right? We were made in the 90s. Just imagine we were the only ones with technology or without technology and know the life without technology and with technology. Do you think that like next generation is going to love theater like I would say us? Like, I feel like because we're the last people that can kind of clamor to that.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Personally, I think that theater has been around
through the test of time. Yeah,
it is timeless. Like, and the experience you get is like not something like anything else out there. Like, like movies are not the same. Like you can go to a movie theater and like be immersed in the movie, but it's not like live. It's not happening right in front of you. You know what I mean?
Okay, so do you say that it's better then? Do you think it's better?
Personally.
That's what I'm asking.
Movies and theater?
Yes.
I personally would prefer to see a theater show than a movie. For me, because when I'm watching a good show,
Okay.
Not talking about the train wrecks, but like a good show, and I'm fully immersed in it. It's like eye-opening, and every
Okay.
show has a message. If no matter like which way
What
you
you
look
do.
at it, even the most absurd shows, they have a message. Like the playwright is writing it for a reason.
Yeah.
And I just have and because I've been in it all of my life, I have such a connection to it that when I watch a performance, it's like things are happening all around you. It's the lighting. It's like, and like being all in the same room as like all of these people who are experiencing the same things. I don't know. It's so cool.
Keep
And
going.
like a
No,
movie,
I feel like you're getting into
for,
it. That's why I'm
for
saying
a
like this was
movie,
pretty good.
I'll be like, oh, yeah, it'd be cool to see it in theaters, but I can always like get it when it comes out or something. A theater, like theater, if you don't see it when it's happening, like that's it, you know? And you can try, like, you know, Hamilton, obviously the most famous musical in the world
100%.
right now.
Yeah. But now it's on like Disney.
Exactly. Like in the height of COVID, they
Put it out
there. And it did great. It's amazing. But like that,
seeing it.
Like imagine, because that was like filming the show.
Right.
That's what it was. You were watching them perform on the stage. But imagine
if you were there.
If you were actually there. Crazy.
Okay. I can understand.
I know you're a movie guy, so you probably have something to say on the movie side.
Right. But like the movie side, especially like for let's say for that type of movie, or like oh, there it goes. You hear it? Yeah. For that, I'm looking at it as if can theater go into movies like that, like how we just saw with Hamilton, how we saw how well it was well received, but yeah, I think it was just because it was already good before.
Oh yeah,
so
it appealed to so many
100%.
audiences.
So I'm trying to look at it as if they make a movie and just in a theater sense and put it out like that, like in a movie aspect, will it work? And I'm just seeing like, is that the future of theater? I'm looking at it and I'm like, I'm not really clamoring for something like that, but I think it's just the experience of going to a theater and watching it there. I just think, I don't know, I feel like generations to come, I think maybe they're not gonna like that. I hate saying that. Like right now, I look at right now, what's that Silver Moon?
Yes.
Silver Moon. A lot more people are going to that just because of what happened with COVID. But yet when movie theaters started opening back up, people are going to go back to the movie theater. Yet, what's it called? Disney Plus and Netflix and all that stuff, it's still catching a lot of people's attention to the point where I don't even think people are going to want to go to the movies anymore. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
You can't be right or wrong in this situation.
Or am I
is like we can't predict.
Tell me I'm wrong, because I'm just like
I think I'm one of those people that like watching a movie in a movie theater is a completely different experience.
Right.
Like it's just it's bigger, it's better. You can have good technology at home, but like it's just a different feel. Like okay, theater is the most immersed you can be. Movie, next immersed you can be, movie theater. Okay. And then like movie at home is like the least immersed. So like it just depends. If you're too lazy and you want to watch a movie at home, fine. You can kick your feet up. You can wear your pajamas, like whatever. You can I mean, you can do that at the movie theater too. Yeah. But I think it'll stage at like movie adaptations of stage shows.
Okay.
I think it would be more accessible to people.
Okay.
But like imagine how excited you were to get like tickets for a show and you're like, oh my god, I'm traveling to New York to watch this show in person. That's so exciting. Like I think there's definitely
Did you say that with Hamilton? I feel like that's what happened with you in Hamilton.
I've never seen Hamilton. Oh my god.
I haven't either, but I feel like that's what you're saying.
You know how expensive those tickets are?
They're fucking expensive. Anybody
and they've been like that for like 4 years now.
Dude, they're going ham on that. I see people with the playbill like pictures and I'm just like, that's great, man. I don't have money for that. Yeah. That's all I've
seen plenty of Broadway shows, but and a lot of the tours that come
Broadway.
here too. Well, like imagine the amount of like audience members you've seen at shows or like Broadway, how popular it is. I think they have too much of a following, let's say. Like too much of an appeal to a lot of people that it'll like completely. I don't think it would completely like go away. I think there will be some people that would be more inclined to watch it more accessibly on like things like Disney Plus and stuff like that. But I think there will still be enough people that want to actually, especially I feel like with older generations, like the seniors, they don't know how to figure out technology and
No,
stuff. They
of
don't have a
course.
Disney Plus.
But they're
They
dying. They're
want to
dying
be. They
out.
want to go. They want to have a night out and go to the
100%.
theater.
I feel like we still like the night out stuff, like as like our generation.
Yeah.
I'm talking about future generations. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like we're the last generation that's gonna like
Mm-hmm.
this sort of stuff. Like, I'm thinking like, I don't know. I'm thinking
I
of.
hope not.
Do you have like niece or nephews? I don't know. You have kids, but I mean, do you
No.
have like
I don't have any siblings, so
That's so sad.
no.
So
But I
sorry.
do have cousins.
The baby cousins, like
Many cousins.
cousins, like
Yeah.
6,
Yeah,
5.
yeah.
You don't see like a difference in the way that
For
you
sure.
you acted when you were that age and how they're
For
acting.
sure.
I just think it's so weird. I don't know. I just like I can barely relate to you, man. Let go of that phone or
I
Xbox and
know.
come.
I was
Let's
like,
go
I
have
was
fun.
coloring. I was coloring at this age, and now you're on your freaking iPad. What the hell?
100%. I'm playing. I'm
Like,
over
I
here
had
playing with like Transformers and cars, and you're over there
Like
like.
my Polly Pockets. Oh my god.
Okay, so my little nephew, he has this gaming YouTube like thing, and
Okay.
he's wanting to do like a YouTube like thing
Oh my god, kids love YouTube
at
now.
6 years old.
Yeah, they love it.
I don't know what to say to him. I'm like, I don't know. I'm on the idea. I'm on the side of where I think social media should be restricted. Am I wrong?
For YouTube is a dangerous place for like
100%.
little kids to be on. Like you
Like-
can find anything on there.
Yeah, they restricted it for little kids, like some videos, but then they created YouTube Kids. I don't understand that. Like, what the
didn't
heck?
even know
Like,
that.
I'm bashing on YouTube. I love YouTube because this is going on YouTube also. But I'm just saying, like, what the hell, YouTube? Like that doesn't make sense. You restrict kids from watching these videos, but then you make a platform for kids. What? I don't
I
understand
mean,
that.
you can only do so much because, like, if you really want to get around something, you will get around it.
True,
You know what I
true,
mean?
100%. They're making money. Like, but I think it's doing something to the mental state.
For sure.
I don't think it should be good. I just think I'm just like, no, YouTube, you should not be doing that. Like, or any, just social media in general. Do you feel like you get on social media a lot?
Yeah, probably.
Is that a problem, do you think?
I don't think it's a problem. I don't think I'm as bad as like other people, but like definitely when I'm bored at work.
But do
or
you think
something.
it's a problem for like people? Like,
Oh yeah, for sure. In many ways.
how so?
I think people, it's like time consuming, first of all. It is, if we're talking about like Instagram and stuff, it's crazy for mental health. Like detrimental.
What do you mean?
What do I mean?
What do you mean?
Like,
Well, I drank
as-
this chai.
I mean, it is extremely hard for like, I can only speak for women because I am a woman
This is-
myself.
I can only speak for men.
But like, this is perfect. But, and men too, like struggling
How
with
dare
like,
you say that?
body,
Donna?
struggling with like body image and stuff like that, and like you go on Instagram and it's so easy to see like, and it's like the Photoshop, the Facetune, like even like the icons that we have now, like the freaking Kardashians and everything, like it is so easy to compare yourself even without even meaning to with these people that you see that like you don't even know if they're like real or not. You don't know, and you're constantly comparing yourself
Right.
to them like subconsciously, like I do it.
Okay, so from a, you can only speak for women. Do you think it's harder for you guys?
Oh,
Then I personally agree. I think so.
yeah, for sure.
Like, I don't think
I-
men kind of give a shit.
I'm not
in a
saying
way.
that like men don't
Don't.
have like
They-
yeah,
yeah.
I think women have it like worse though.
Fuck.
And I think society puts way more pressure on women to look a certain way and act a certain way than they do men.
Fuck. And I'm thinking about younger, like, generations, even
Mm-hmm.
younger women, like, just how that is going to affect. I didn't care about that when I was young,
know.
you know? So I'm looking at it from, like, the perspective that you're talking about, and that's insane. That's
It's like how many times do you like go on Instagram and like you look at guys and you're like, fuck, I don't look like that, or
well,
like, oh, this guy has like a fucking like six pack. I need to go to the gym tomorrow. Like how many times?
Okay, so let me break it down. I think when it comes to the looks side of it, I don't think men do it as much, but I think the lifestyle side of it, I think so. I think we get jealous as like just it doesn't matter men or women, we just get jealous of people what they're doing, and we only see the glamour of
Right.
it.
It's so
you know
easy
what I mean?
to like put up like a facade on
Yes.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Because like even like relationship wise, you see these couples and you're like, oh my god, their goals, all of this. Like how many times do you go on like a celebrity couples picture and you see all the comments like mom and dad goals, like all this stuff, like you don't know, and then next week they're like, oh, they're broken up. It's like you can never tell with stuff like that, but it puts like a standard on people.
No, yes, and you don't realize how much power we give those people.
For sure.
And
like it's all us. They wouldn't have this platform if it wasn't for us. So.
Like when you brought up Kim Kardashian, did you realize that she's protesting Facebook right now?
For what?
I don't know. But like for 24 hours, she's not gonna post on Instagram. She's not gonna post on Facebook.
And you know how much they get paid for one like Instagram post?
Yeah. How much? Please tell me.
Like more than I can make in like 5 years probably. Like.
Doesn't that baffle you?
It's
like,
crazy, but we give them the power. We do.
So. Oh man, I'm just trying to get my mind. I'm trying to wrap my head. Let's drink some coffee before I get on to this because right now I'm thinking like the idea of how much power we give like a lot of these influencers. I'm not trying to be in it. I just love doing this.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like there's there's just like this inauthentic, very artificial side of how people do things on social media that I can't wrap my head around. I like seeing people struggle. I like seeing the underdog stories, and I like seeing like them overcome it.
Yeah, that's why I like the page. People of New York, do you follow that Instagram page?
Bo, tell me about that.
Oh my God, you would love it. It's just this guy that lives in New York, and he like talks to people. I think that's it. If anyone knows better, like prove me wrong. But the Instagram, the Instagram is literally just like pictures of normal people, and the caption is like a story of theirs. And so one that I read today was this deaf girl like grew up deaf, and her like interpreter or something was like, yeah, it's a hindrance for able people to have disabled people in their life, so you probably like won't find love pretty much. And so she thought about that, and then this one guy that was in her class when she went to school like started writing notes to her and like asked for her email, and then they started talking and hanging out, and he like signed to her, will you be my girlfriend? And so it was just this story, but it has so many followers because it's real people and their stories and their hardships, and they overcome it. And it's stuff like, you would love it.
We'll talk about that more on the after the podcast. I would want to see that.
Yeah.
But I think that's like I don't think that's just social media. I think that's just like that's just us looking at it from that angle, like what social media does. Like it does influence it, but I think as humans, we look at that and we just like, man, what we want to either help or I feel like it's helping me because I feel like I'm going through that struggle. You know what I mean? So it's like those types of pages. I think they, especially now, with how much more I think loneliness is a thing here in the United States. I feel like a lot more people are like trying to find a connectivity online that I feel like maybe causing a struggle like deep down inside for them. So it's like, whoa, like I just at that point I don't know what to say to people that do have a problem with social media, or if like they're addicted to it, if that makes sense. And at that point I'm just like, what can I say to you guys to make you think, like, to change your mind, I guess, about it? It's like social media. That's all I would think. And I'm like, I don't know what to say. I don't know.
Honestly, to each their own.
Yeah.
Like, I know many people that, like, they're like, oh, my God, social media is toxic. I'm deleting my apps. And then they, like, re-download it, like, a day later. And they're like, oh, well, that was a good cleanse.
So
But, like, whatever, to each their own.
Sure.
Yeah, for me, I don't think it's that detrimental for me because I'm pretty mentally stable, I think. And, like, I think, like, I'm able to handle stuff like that. And sometimes I'm not, and sometimes I need to take a break. But, like, whatever. I just do whatever I'm feeling.
You don't think you're crazy? I feel like
I
we're all
think
crazy.
I'm a little psycho.
I think we're a little psycho.
I'm a little psycho. But for the most part, I'm pretty, like, mentally, like, stable. I'm one of those fortunate people that has, like, not had to struggle with, like, mental health, like, issues or, like, mental illness or anything like that. So fortunate for that. But that's what I mean. But like,
Okay.
I'm still a little psycho.
No, yeah. I think everybody has a little psycho in them.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, if you can hide it, man, teach me your ways, because I'm just trying to learn. But
No,
it's just
seriously.
crazy, like that. How much social media has influenced us, like whether it's political, whether it's like fake news, what's right and
Oh my
wrong.
God, social media is like
Yes.
for politics.
Mm.
Anything can get like misconstrued or like misinformation can get spread so easily. It's dangerous.
Very, very dangerous. I'm thinking of like, at that point, I'm thinking on like, how much more do I want the government to be in play when it comes to like restricting social, like internet or like just social media? And I'm just thinking like, I think you should, honestly, I think you should step in, because a lot more people younger are getting depressed, and I'm thinking that would kill more people later on. So this is why I'm saying, like, I'm dumb as fuck. Let's just clarify that.
Yeah.
So before I get all like into political shit, don't take what I'm gonna say seriously. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like I think they should interfere with like a lot of social media shit, because
Yeah, you think-
Facebook and AI is gonna be a big thing. I don't know how scared you are about AI, but AI is pretty big.
Okay, I don't even know what that is.
Arti-
I'm gonna be the stupid one here.
Artificial intelligence.
Oh my God. Okay, like iRobot and shit.
Yes,
Like the-
but like
what's her name?
The concept of it.
Okay,
The
that's dangerous. You know how they can like put someone's face on like another face?
they can do that on just
Yeah.
like the Instagram.
It's insane.
Like you can change your face.
That's
like,
crazy.
And I think
That could
that's
start
insane.
wars.
Yes.
Like genuinely.
You know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, are you not scared of that? Like,
No,
I'm just like,
I'm scared of that.
Yeah.
Like, get your shit together.
yeah, fuck, get your
Anyways.
shit together. But anyways, yeah, no, I'm just like, man, I don't know. I look at all that stuff and I'm just like, this is some crazy shit. What do you think? What do you think? 2020 right now, how everything is, and we can kind of like go off of like almost finish off with that. But with 2020, do you see it as a negative or positive?
I think somewhere in the middle. I think obviously COVID has affected many people and killed many people.
Yeah.
Obviously, like a negative,
Mhm.
horrible. And but honest, I said like somewhere in the middle, but honestly, I'm like, now that I'm thinking about it, leaning towards more like negative. But also, it's helped me like that time in quarantine and like isolation. I was going through a breakup, and I couldn't distract myself. Like I tried to distract myself, and it went horribly. And then I literally had to sit there, like in my thoughts, and really work on myself. And like the quarantine gave me time to do that, to really think about myself, what I want, and like reflect inward. So that helps me in that way, but put a damper on my plans. Like,
Fuck, I forgot about that.
I think it would have been more like beneficial if it happened for like maybe 2 or 3 months, but at this point it's like businesses are struggling, people are struggling.
Yeah,
like,
what month is this? 6?
I think it started in like March.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's like month 6.
6
Yeah.
months.
It's a lot.
But do you think it's gonna continue like this? That's what I like.
Not forever. I don't know. In Florida needs to get its shit together because cases are going up because we're opening Disney, and like, sorry, like people are getting their jobs back. But like, I know people who like don't even want don't feel safe going back to work at Disney, but they have to. Don't think Disney should have reopened. I don't think.
Whoa, really?
No, I don't think it should have reopened.
Okay, why?
No, I think we did it, and they reopened in the height of cases going back up. Like,
okay.
Cases went up, and then they opened, and guess what? Cases continue to go up. And bars are open now. Like, I went to a bar downtown with my girlfriend, like, maybe a month ago, and I was thinking, she said bar, and I was thinking, oh, like, it's gonna be like a sit down, like happy hour, you know, you get to sit at your own table, whatever.
We're going
like
to Achilles,
that was right in my head. I'm like, oh, right. No, we get there and it's like no one, like they took your temperature at the door, but
Right.
hello, asymptomatic people, like you
Oh,
can
yeah, yeah,
be
that's right.
like before, um, you don't even have to have a fever to be
Yeah.
carrying the symptoms and like
Right.
being infected.
Right.
So, and then we get in there, barely any masks. It is freaking packed. Like outside, they're like have a DJ and everything, and it's crazy. Like I don't understand how like dentists were closed for so long, or like stuff like that were closed, or like
I think
people
about
can't
that.
even go to, like a girl I know is pregnant and like the father of the baby can't even go in for
Go
the
see them. Yeah,
ultrasound
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because of COVID. But then there's like bars open and Disney open and they can do all that, but like a father of a baby can't see like the ultrasound. I just think Florida needs to get its shit
I don't think it's
together
just
in
Florida
that
though.
regard.
I do believe that there's like a lot of places that are kind of doing that now.
Yeah, I definitely don't think. I think we are handling it different than a lot of other places,
Right.
and schools opening back up. Like there's
That's
so many like
that's my dilemma. I don't understand that.
I don't understand how schools are
No,
opening.
I just don't understand. Like, okay, maybe from a business perspective, I can understand it, but then like I guess I'm trying to.
See, that's what I think the problem is. People are looking at it from a business perspective, like Florida itself, like whatever,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
looking at it from a business perspective and not like life, life
But,
perspective.
but like school, especially if that's like government run, like
Exactly.
why are we still opening up? That's what kind of concerns me there. It's just
Right.
like, granted, I don't know. I'm thinking about it from like that angle, and then from the kids' angle, they probably just looking at it from a social behavior. Like, I don't know, I want to go see friends. Like, I don't want to be in a house
Yeah.
anymore. I don't want to stay inside anymore, or I just want to go out, and that can do damage to people.
For sure.
So, and that's so it's hard to balance all of those things.
But even in like, they can say, "Oh, we're taking the right safety precautions," but my mom is a first grade teacher.
Okay, so see, look, that right there, I don't know, because I'm saying this like I want to know more of that, just because that part especially worries me for not just kids, but like,
younger.
yeah, like it shouldn't matter, like even though they're the least affected. It's like, should we put them all in and bundle them up like that, like even if it is a real
And
thing?
first graders, like even if they're wearing masks and
Man,
everything,
they're
they're
first
first
graders.
graders. They're hard enough to control,
Exactly.
like
Without
this
it.
stuff going on.
Yeah.
Like hello,
They're
like,
picking their burgers. They're picking up
yeah,
trash. They don't even care. They're gonna eat whatever they want, and it's just
right.
that is worrisome.
And like they like hug each other and like
Yeah.
without even thinking about it, like they wouldn't even know. But my mom's a first grade teacher, and she got to choose whether she did. You got an option whether you wanted to do the online school or
Yeah.
like do it in person. And she has diabetes, so she's like more at risk than like other people.
Right.
So
Underlying stuff. I think,
right.
Yeah.
So she was like, I'm like not gonna go back in person. So she's been doing online, and it's hard. And she works at a what is it called?
Montessori.
No, it's a school with like low income students. It's like
Ah.
something one.
No. Okay. What was it,
I
like
want
an
to say Title
inner city?
One. Is it Title One school?
Is it? I don't know. I think so.
I don't
maybe.
know. Forgive me, people. I'm sorry. But so like a lot of those kids don't have access to like technology or stuff like that.
Yeah.
And God, my mom is one of the best people I know. Like,
She would buy
bless
everything.
her. She like personally made packets for each student that
Wow.
weren't able to like have a computer, and she would drive to them. And like some of these people like live like they hotel hop and live in hotels, and she will like go to the hotel and drop off the packet for the students to complete,
Yeah.
and because they don't have access to
That's
what
so
they're
sad.
asking. And like, but a lot of teachers aren't doing this, so it's hard for them. But also like she said that if someone in the in-person classes, if one of the kids like tests positive,
Yeah.
they have these stations. They're only checking the people that sit around the student, like the first person that sits around the student, as if the kids are just magically appearing in their seats and aren't all walking into class and like passing by each other. Like,
Right.
so even the tools that they have, implemented, air quotes,
Yeah.
that they think are effective, they're not. It's not. And I know it's a hard job to like work around this time for
100%.
everyone, but like we gotta do better.
No, I agree. And but this is what I'm saying. Like, from a governmental side, is that run from a business perspective, you know,
Right.
like keeping them open and doing all that stuff, because at that point, man, fund them, like give them some more protocols to follow. Like I mean, we can just see just, and we shouldn't even be looking at the news a lot now. I don't think so, but I think you can just tell by like so many COVID cases coming up from schools, just
Yeah.
and so many people just doing that. I don't know. People think it's fake. People think it's not. People just don't understand. Like,
Yeah, the people who think it's fake, tell that to the people that are dead, the over 200,000, whatever, more than that.
Exactly.
I don't even know.
Listen, and that's the thing. I think we justify. I don't know. I don't know shit. But see, I'm saying I can't justify my health with somebody else's, but I don't want to put them at risk. You know, and I think that at that point it's like, am I doing that solidarity and favor if I do go back to work, or am I doing that if I do stay like out of reach? How do I know I don't have it and all this other stuff? You know, it's just like you try to like eliminate as much as you possibly can, but at a certain point, I don't know. I don't know what's safe and what not to say. Like that's what I'm saying. I'm dumb as fuck. Don't listen to me.
Yeah, like, yeah.
Exactly. I don't know. I look at it from many angles, and that's the reason why I like talking about this on the podcast, is because I think it brings out more perspective. I didn't know your mom was a teacher, or like she's dealing with all that stuff, and I'm just like, whoa, yeah, like that sucks. And then like dealing with just the kid side, or like the parents, and even they're just like, or just I don't know, people that are working, and I'm just like, whoa, that explains a lot. I don't know, there's so much going on, like politically, environmentally. Oh, did you hear about the fires and stuff?
Oh my God, the world is falling apart. Climate change. People who say it's not real, what the fuck is wrong with you? As
I'd
you
take
can
a big
tell,
stance on that.
I'm a liberal. I think that's pretty evident.
I'm a middle guy. I'm an independent guy. But climate change, come on, like that's not a
It's science. It's in front of us.
Yeah,
we are
but it's
experiencing it.
And it's 100%. I think humans are, well, just the mass majority of how many people are here. It's gonna have an influence on how we see it. So, and I think that's the reason why it's like it's something that should be in the forefront of like, hey guys, we need to fix this, because maybe that has to stem from diseases, especially like with COVID. Like so many people thinking like it came from bats and all this other stuff. We're just deforestation and all this other stuff that I'm like, no, I'm a very big hippie guy. Like I wouldn't say I'm a tree hugger, but I love nature. I love going out and being able to go out and enjoy it. When you're stuck with a bunch of smoke and don't know where to go, and you're living up in the mountains where it's supposed to be mountainy, like no fires supposed to happen and all that stuff, that's a little worrisome. Yeah. That's very worrisome. I have friends that live over there, and they kind of like send me like all this stuff, and I'm like, whoa, dude, I'm so sorry. That does suck. But I didn't know about that until like recently, like 2 or 3 days ago.
Yeah, it's crazy. And everyone wants to like go vegan, it's better for the environment, recycle, like don't use straws, like stuff like that. And like, yes, we can do that, but that
like
will help
things.
very little. Like we have to think about the big scale. Like we have, like the government, like please vote, period. Like just vote, and like hopefully things will get better. But we can only do so much. The common people can only do so much. It has to be like on a bigger scale.
Yes. I agree. I'm not like this decision making, especially individually, has, I think, big impact. I don't think it just because we're common doesn't mean we can't make an impact individually. But I do think at a certain point, this isn't a discussion. Like it's not supposed to be discussion. So at that point, yeah, I agree. That 2020 is a big year, and I'm just glad I'm in a position right now where I can share thoughts and people can share thoughts. Thank you for coming on, for one. Like I'm so happy that you came on talking about all this stuff. Talked about film, talked about 2020, talked about COVID.
Oh my God, are we done?
Well, no. Oh. And we're just kind of like going through everything. I just say like, dude, thank you for coming on. But I just want to know, from just your perspective, especially like just being Woman, what do you think? What do you think is going to end up happening? Speculating. Right after post-election.
Oh, you hit me with a hard one.
I did hit you with a hard one.
It really just depends which way it goes. Because, like, we re-elect the president right now, and I think it's going to be the same old shit, if not even worse,
right.
Even deeper. I think we are going to have, if Biden gets elected, I think we're going to have the same type of reaction and atmosphere that we had when Obama was elected. The people, obviously on the right side, aren't going to be happy, and there's going to be shit going on. But oh my god, I don't know how to answer this question.
No, right now I have a different way of like looking at it, like my podcast, and I don't like talking about politics as much, but I think right now I think we should, like, more than ever. I think it's in the forefront, if that makes sense. So that's why I'm like, not just taking a stance, but I just think it's like taking in all the opinions that you possibly can, just to be aware. Like, people don't know you. People like are starting to get to know you. I mean, they're gonna know you after this, but it's like what worries you? That's the thing. Like, what from the common perspective? That's the reason why I keep asking like more and more people now. It's like, what is the worrisome of what will end up happening?
I'm like, the biggest thing for me, like most worrisome for me, is that like shit doesn't change. And like, I'm a very big advocator for like the Black Lives Matter movement. Like all like the movements that are happening right now are very important, and barely anything is changing. And I think if we stay under the same president, things are not going to continue to change. Right. And it's very easy. Like, that's why it's so important to like keep talking about it, because it like at the height of BLM, for example, because that's the biggest movement right now. At the height of it, it was everywhere. And after a week or two, like, you don't see it around as much or whatever, but there's like still people talking about it. And I think under another administration, like under like something different, I would hope that things would actually start to change. Like, to have people, like more people on the side that you're fighting for, you can only hope that it's going to be a step in the right direction. Because right now we're pretty stagnant. Things aren't changing. Like, there's still all this shit going on, and so many people can like speak up about it and protest about it and all of this stuff, but like nothing is going to happen if like the government officials don't make shit happen. Right. And so since things are stagnant right now and they're not changing, my only hope is that under another president, like, you will see changes, and that's my hope. Okay.
No shit. Now, like, that's the reason why I ask it, because this podcast should not be about like what I think. It should be also like what everybody else thinks. And at that point, it's like, yeah, that's why I ask. Like 100%, like, maybe people would end up wanting to open up more, especially when it comes to podcasts, because it's more openly free. Like, you can talk more. But when it gets scripted, somewhere it gets lost. Like, I just feel like the message gets lost. Yeah. So at that point, I'm just like, and that's on either side. It doesn't matter. Like, I just kind of like, okay. Let me. Sounds like
you're getting lost right now.
No, I'm just explaining how I feel whenever I look at it, and I'm just like, this doesn't make sense. Like, I don't let me make my own sense and see if that makes sense. And that's what I'm doing. So that's why I'm like, this works out more, especially, I don't know if you heard, but like, and I think it would be cool. I don't know how you feel about it, but let me see if you, so I don't know if you know Joe Rogan.
I do know Joe Rogan.
Okay. So he has a podcast, but supposedly, I don't know if it was him or somebody on his podcast or the president, that would be a good idea if he would moderate one of the debates.
Joe Rogan?
Yes.
Okay.
He would moderate one of the debates with it would just be him, Donald Trump, and Joe Biden. What do you think about it?
I know of Joe Rogan, and I know he has a very famous podcast, and I know Miley Cyrus was on it.
Dude, she was. That was one of my favorite ones. I haven't
listened to the episode
It's
yet,
so funny. I love that one. That was hilarious. I'm sorry.
No, I love her. So.
Oh, she's great. She's great.
But I don't know. Like he's not government affiliated at all.
No,
right?
no.
I think that's where it would be be good. He's more of the.
He leans left, but he's very moderate also. Like
Okay.
he's very he's.
He can see both sides.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, but he stands. He's egalitarian. He's like he loves a lot of the leftist views. He's had Bernie Sanders. He's had Andrew Yang, Tulsi, all of these other side like the Democratic side on this podcast just to see what they would say. But he's also had like right people. Like this is why I think it would be a good idea. I just want to see what you would say. I don't know why, but I just feel like the mindsets are different when it comes to like not now, but I just think they're different when it comes to like men and women see things differently. You know, I don't know if that's the thing. That's why I'm asking you. What do you think?
Okay, well that's a good point. Like
which one? I made like 3.
It's like I'm thinking more about it with like 3 men.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like if you want to throw a woman in the mix, that'd be cool.
Okay,
but like,
who?
Oh, I don't know. Someone that's like
not famous or anything. You can give me that one. Like if you think of somebody where I think, oh my God, yeah, you're right. I think so. I think you're right. But
like someone that is like more of like a common people.
Exactly.
I feel like it would draw more people in first of all because it's like, oh, like that could be me. You know what I mean? Someone very well educated has to be very well educated. I am nothing of the sort about politics.
Yeah, but we love talking about it.
But I think that would be beneficial. Like Joe Rogan's cool. I think that would be interesting. And he's well known and he's like
yeah, really
like a popular guy, but he's not like A-list celebrity. You know what I mean? Like he could kind of relate to the people. He's had a lot of viewpoints, like in having this podcast and speaking to all of these like different array of people.
And they always change. Like he's not afraid to say, oh shit, I was wrong. Like
right.
That's why I asked, like, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. I didn't know there was talks of that. Is there talks of that?
Yeah. You know him. You know Trump with Twitter. Like he's.
Oh my God, no! I try to ignore.
I do. I don't even. I'm not even on Twitter. Is that weird?
No, I'm a big Twitter.
You're a big Twitter person.
I'm a big Twitter.
How dare you?
Twitter's for like the elite, though.
Is it?
Yeah, like be like, oh, you want my Instagram here, and then they ask for my Twitter. I'm like, that's for the elite. I'm
never on Twitter. I just feel like that's like people that are so emotional on the both sides.
I love it.
I'm just saying, like, this dude, my roommate, he's on it all the time.
Yes, like the threads. Oh my God, I learned so much on them. I learned so much.
I learned a lot from comments, but like on YouTube and so forth. But I don't know. I just don't concern myself with like people are getting mad over something, and I'm just like, okay, let's just see what they're getting mad about, and then I get myself in a rabbit hole.
Well, that's you also have to like you get to choose the people you follow.
But is that bad?
Choosing the people you follow, but then there's also the explore page, so where you can see what's trending and shit.
I guess.
So it's like a little bit for everyone.
You're right.
I follow a lot of like dog and animal pages on there, so I love scrolling through my Twitter and seeing like someone roller skating with a dog and a horse like galloping beside her. Like I love that, but I also love to see like what's trending and if Trump is being like
fucking
an idiot again or Offset and Cardi B broke up or shit like that. But then I'll like go back to my page to see like what my best friends are posting and the animals and shit.
Yeah.
But whatever.
No, that was funny. No, he just tweeted. He's like, I would love to do a debate with Joe Rogan mediating. Like
Trump said that?
Yeah.
Okay, see now that you mentioned that, then I don't think it's a good idea.
Because
I don't like that he suggested it. I think it needs to be an outside party that like picks a person.
But here's the thing. I mentioned it before I even told you about that. What changed? Is it just because he agreed on it and you think that Joe Rogan is signing up and saying, I agree with it too? Like
what you just told me?
Yeah.
I think if he's suggesting it, I don't trust him, and I don't know why did he say, oh, Joe Rogan would be like a good why?
This is what I'm saying. He didn't suggest it.
Okay.
And this is what I'm saying. Somebody on his podcast suggested it, and the grapevine just came up, and I think at some point he heard it. He thinks it would probably be a good idea. But
See, I don't know. He's so shady to me that like I feel like he argues with everything that like go everything that could possibly like go wrong for him. He constantly fights against and he constantly tweets about it. So
okay.
like for him to like hop on the bandwagon of something, it's like sus for me. I'm like, why is he agreeing to that? Is there something shady going on? That's where I get nervous
Maybe
about it.
I can understand that. I can understand that. I don't know. I think from not being a Trump supporter, I think it's still a good idea. And the reason I say that is just because I'm looking at it from a podcast perspective. I think you get a bigger light on how you really are on either side. You get a really good sense of Joe Biden, and you get a good sense of and it's especially if it's just them two and Rogan. That's the only reason I'm saying that. I'm looking at it from that angle. I don't really care like if that's what he thinks, but I think at a certain point, if it's going to happen, he's going to have to agree with it, and so is Joe. And that's why I think it's like I think you're going to see a different light of how he says it and what he says, and I think it's going to bring up a lot more things, and you're going to see this is what they actually mean. Oh, Joe, I knew I was wrong about you. You're right. I like you. And so see,
Could
but
be.
that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I love the idea of podcasts. That's the side I'm on. So for the podcast to be a debate, I think it would be something new.
Fire.
Exactly. I just don't want Anderson Cooper. I don't want anybody like kind of like it's just the normal thing all the time. I just think at a certain point, especially this year is just random.
Huge.
100%. And so because it's huge, I think you should use everything you can internet wise to try to make a good point, because this could probably be like a very bad thing for Trump and a very good thing for Joe, and vice versa. But I think that's what makes it a fair game.
Yeah, we'll see.
My opinion. I don't even know if it's going to happen. I just think it's like Joe still has to agree with it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know. I wanted to see your perspective on that. But do you also think like from a woman's point, do you think it's different? Like, do you feel like you see things differently than men?
Yeah.
Elaborate. Because I feel like there's like a lot of things. But
I think women have to worry about a lot more. Like,
okay.
You're talking about like position of power too.
Sure.
So,
I just think the mindsets are different, and the reason I'm saying that, I just think that's the reason why there's a difference between like how we decision making.
Yeah, I think it's like, if you can't tell, like I will be voting for Biden, and part of the reason for that is because Kamala Harris is the VP, and even though there's controversies with her and everything, yeah, I know, but
I like Tulsi Gabbard. She's great.
Okay, but we got to work with what we got,
Yeah.
and that's what we got, and like whether there's controversies about her or not, like I understand those and are completely valid, but it's like she is a woman, and she will be actively working for the women issues, which it's easy for men to brush aside because it has nothing to do with them. It doesn't concern them. Like this whole like Planned Parenthood being defunded, things like this, like it may be because like men don't know everything that goes on with women. And like even when talking to my boyfriend, like I still like mention things that have to do with like being a woman, and he's like, "Oh, really?" I'm like it's so like things that we women think of every day, but like men don't know. Anyway, getting sidetracked.
No, it's good. It's good.
Sidetracked there. Like it's important to have a woman in a position of power in order to advocate for the other women, and like we've never had a woman in this high position of power before.
Right.
So like you want change, then like you have to make changes to like the government. Yeah. That's my thought on that.
Okay. No, yeah.
Did I answer the question? I forget the question.
No, it's well, I think mine was very general. I think it was just like, do you think that like women have a different way of processing things that make the decision making.
Yes.
And I think that's the reason why.
I also feel like this may be like stereotypical and wrong of me.
How dare you? We don't stereotype here anymore. We're in the age of no more
Listen, I'm giving you my slice of
I'm
life
totally.
here.
I know. I'm just totally kidding. I just think this whole cancel culture thing is also a big problem. But
yes.
Okay. Oh God, you said yes, like you agree?
No, I do agree.
Oh my God, we're talking about that.
But yeah, I personally feel like women.
How do you
think
feel?
I think women think things through like.
Okay.
Better.
How dare you?
Just from firsthand experience, like I think like men say women are emotional. From my experience, men are so damn emotional, it's insane, and they like react so quickly, and like I love how these people say like, oh, having a woman in a position of power is so dangerous because they could be on their period and start a war. Like, that is so stupid. All wars have been created by men so far. It's so stupid. Like, hello, you want to stop these things from happening? Then, like, do something different. Maybe try out a woman for once. Anyways, so, yeah, I do think that...
Fierce.
I'm so annoyed.
Keep going. You're good. I like this.
Yeah, I do think that... women and men are very different in that regard.
Okay.
I also think that women are smarter. Sorry. Sorry. I do.
Women are going to run this world at some point. And
I would like to see it in my lifetime.
The thing.
Please.
This is. I don't think it will.
No, it won't, but I'm begging.
What I'm saying is, like, men are very... I'm a guy, so I can say it. But men are very stupid. Let's just say this.
Yes.
Okay. Listen,
Thank you.
I'm not giving. We're on a 50-50.
It's so hard to explain because like
it is, and this is why like it's hard to not get stereotypes because sometimes they kind of have a sense of truth, and what I mean from both men and women. Like for some, I think even men. Sometimes we're acting like a bitch. Like shut up. Stop. And then like other times I'm like, all right, now you're too much, like quit. You're and that's what I'm saying, like from a base to base like bases, you can't really depict like the singularities from each person, but overall like that's where I'm saying sometimes the stereotypes make sense even as a guy or a woman, like it doesn't matter. But I'm like, we just do stupid shit. I just think like we love fire. We burn shit. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, we I don't know. We all, like, that's the thing. We crave shit. Like, I don't know. Is that the best way to describe men? No. But at the same time.
I know there's going to be those people out there that are like, not all men. Like, okay, we're not fucking talking about that, okay?
Here's the thing. Me and her are good friends, so we can talk about this. But it's just fun. Like, it should be. Like, there's a... I don't know. This is why I think humor should still be a thing. Like, right now, it is so hard to be a comic.
Oh my God. I listened to a podcast of like, and one of the girls is like a comedian.
Explain.
And, I listened to Girls Gotta Eat. I'm plugging another podcast right now.
Girls
Sorry
Gotta Eat.
You
better
can cut that out if you like.
No, I'm saying you better sponsor me and I better make some money. That's all I'm saying. But keep going.
But it's two women in their early 30s and they live in New York City, and one of them is a comedian. And she, like, one of the episodes, they had another comedian guest star, and they said something, and they got a lot of backlash for it. And, like, they had to come on the podcast the next week and be like, listen, like, we're comedians. Like, we know, like, shit isn't funny. Like, 9/11 isn't funny, obviously. Like, things like that. But, like, people make jokes about it. And, like, that's just how it is. Like, we know these things aren't funny, but like those are what comedians do. Like,
100%.
That they like they try to make you laugh.
They light hard.
Sometimes
shit like that is
funny. Yes, they like try to make it like, and that's not to say that things aren't like serious or like it's not.
No. So who are we saying is the problem here then? That's what I'm saying. Like, if a comedian...
you just said it's hard for comedians out there. I'm like,
I agree.
Because they get so much backlash on stuff. And I'm like, bro, and like you can say they're
cancel
joking.
Culture and shit like that.
Yes,
This is why we're getting into this point. But I had to bring up comedy because I think it's slowly changing for the worse. And I'm not saying like some of the comedy right now, like people can adapt to it, but like the people that, man, Kevin Hart got backlashed for things that happened years ago, and I'm just kind of like,
it's very common for people to dig up from
shit
like years ago and like cancel them.
Yeah, and
that's hard.
What do you think about that?
I think that there's like
this should be a fine line. I agree.
Exactly. Perfect word.
I agree.
But like I can't think of one specific person, but so many like influencers nowadays will like people will
There's so
literally
many influencers.
spend yes, but people will spend so much time going back and digging through their old stuff just to find one little thing and be like,
what are you doing with your life, man? What do you have nothing going on in your life?
Right. And like no, seriously.
No, for real.
And then like they're like, oh, cancel them. And then at some point, like shit gets to a point where it's like, okay, yeah, they need to. Yeah. I don't like using the word canceled, but like they shouldn't be in the spotlight for like all these people to see because they are not like good role models.
No,
like, but
yeah, I agree with you.
People
there.
can grow. They can change.
Yes, that's what I believe in.
And like, yeah, like I am not the same person I was 1 year ago.
Nah.
Hell no, thank God for that. My God, but like that, it's different than being a shitty person.
Yes.
And I think that's where like people are so quick to like cancel people for one little thing. And
yes.
I don't agree in that. I think there's a fine line. I think there's a point that it gets to where it's like, okay, we need to look at that a little deeper. And then there's somewhere it's like, come on. Like
there should be a come on like button, but like not a button, but like a line. I don't know where that line should be crossed.
Yeah,
like that's the thing where I'm like, dude, some of those things that get brought up are sometimes good, like Epstein and all that other shit that like, you know,
oh my God,
they start digging out
way past the line.
Yeah, and so
it's way past
but that's what I'm saying, like there's like stuff that definitely come past the line where I'm just like, oh yeah, that should definitely be in the light. But then right now, like I just think that the whole idea of like cancel culture right now, I just think it's getting too overwhelmed with nonsense. I hate saying it.
And it's
like
honestly
that.
distracting from like the bigger important issues.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm blinded because I don't know what is canceled and what is not. I just see something or I hear something that someone tells me, like, oh, that shit sucks. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with that information, but it sucks. Like, right. Should I feel sorry for that guy or no? I don't know. I saw something with Terry Crews and yeah. Who is that? Terry Crews? You know White Chicks?
Oh, okay.
Terry Crews.
He was one of the guys.
No, he wasn't. He was not from the white, but he was in the movie. He was the boyfriend or the big black guy.
The one that sings 1,000 miles in the car. Okay, I know. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, him, Terry Crews.
I'm so bad with like celebrity names.
No, Terry Crews. He mentioned something like this to I think I don't remember one of the people that talk on the news. I don't remember his name. Fuck, I forget his name. But he got backlashed. Like he was just like, nah, man. Like I'm just saying, like you can't be hating on people from like things that happened a lot in the past. Yeah, there's a fine line, but he's like, they're like, but Terry, you don't think that blah blah blah. Like it just got to the point where celebrities are even getting like shunned down, which I think celebrities in general, I think they're just too much right now. So, but I don't know. I haven't seen Terry Crews do anything bad. You know,
well, I just found out who this guy is.
Is it Terry Crews?
I wouldn't really know either.
And I miss you.
Yeah,
that guy.
The most iconic thing he's
exactly.
done to me.
Well, there's a lot more iconic things, but yeah, he's a funny guy. He's a very funny guy. I just think like the way that it's going, I don't know if it's in the good for people or if it's just gonna get worse. You know, does that mean like humor and comedy and even movie changing? Like I can't. Tropic Thunder. I don't know if you ever seen that movie.
I haven't.
You haven't seen the movie?
I know the controversy.
Well, okay. Well, like even that or like White Chicks, like you can't like face change and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, but this is comedy. I don't understand. But then again, I'm just like, I need to understand because there's some things that I guess shouldn't be done anymore. So at that point, I'm like, I don't know where that fine line is. I'm just trying to bring it in the light.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm just glad that you brought up the cancel culture because I'm glad we both think it's nonsense to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But how do you feel now that you kind of had this whole podcast experience right now?
Are we ending?
For the most part, yeah.
All right.
We're getting close to the hour and a half, and it's pretty good.
Definitely not what I expected to talk about at all. I was like, politics is off the table. But
I don't care. No, usually it just depends on the. We literally talk about something is brought up, and we're like, oh, let's talk about that.
Right. No, but it was good. I was definitely nervous at the beginning, but like it was just like
once you get going, it's just
like
talking.
I was in Achilles talking to you on the couch.
100%. Like that's it.
No, and it's definitely beneficial for me to like see how everything goes, so that when me and my friends make our podcast, I have a little background.
Daddy issues.
It's not gonna be.
It's not gonna be daddy issues. I'm just kidding. It's way too big.
Top of our list is that room.
That room.
That room. It's kind of an inside joke, but also we were like
Explain
we were
it.
also high when we were coming.
You
up
were
with
high.
This.
How dare you?
High off of joy.
High off of life, the slice of life.
Yeah.
High life.
Obviously,
slice.
what I meant. But we were like saying inside jokes, and we were like, "Oh my god!" But like, what about that room? You know. So, but we're very open to other like ideas.
No, 100%. I think a podcast just opens up a lot. It doesn't matter what you do, how you do it. And it's just like, but when you get into like a certain thing, like make sure the niche lets you kind of like talk more. Because if you just talk about Disney all the time, like let's just say. Like,
I am not talking about Disney on my podcast.
No, I mean, I'm just saying like there's people that do. And I'm just like, dude, talk about more than just Disney. This is boring.
No, I don't want to put limits on it. I want to be able to talk about like whatever, whenever, like sex, love, drugs, money, fame,
love,
life,
drug, and
anything.
money.
Like shit that happens, like people. And I want like everyone I can with different perspectives on everything.
El sexo, el amor, el droga. I don't know.
Oh my god, are you Spanish?
I'm Portuguese.
Okay.
No, okay. Yeah, you're right. Like, shit. People don't talk about like sex or like love or on anything. Like on a podcast, people can talk about it. You know what I mean? And I think even drugs. Like, oh my god, I want to talk about like shrooms and alcohol and like all these other things. And I'm just like, you can't do that on a. I mean, you can, but it seems
it don't hit the same.
It don't hit the same as it like as a podcast. So that's that's what I'm saying. I have an idea, especially it was going to be 2 girls and 2 guys talking about like relationships, right?
Oh my god, I love that. I can talk about relationship and sex and love for like hours.
I mean, we got so for those for those. I do apologize. We did run out of video, but if you are still listening, this is still great stuff. I don't care how long we talk, but just to let you guys know, I am putting up her information. She's going to have a podcast when she has it up. I'm going to have all that stuff up there. But if you are following me on YouTube, I do apologize about the video. It's going to cut out here in a little bit. But if you're still listening to us on audio, and it's still going to be on video, it's just going to be audio. It is still going to keep going. So talk about it.
Talk about what?
Talk about love, amor. Sex.
Oh my god. No, you have to come on, you have to start something.
Yeah, you can ask me questions. See, you have to know, like you have to bounce off each other. Like you have to like what do you think? What do you think? What do you think about this? What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not one point in this podcast you asked me a question.
Okay, because you were like, oh, it's definitely, before we started, you were like, oh, it's definitely like more like focus on you, like who you are. And I was like,
no, I said in the beginning.
Okay, it's all about me the whole time. Okay.
You fucking conceited much. Thanks for the coffee.
But I don't know. I feel like you know like my whole like relationship like.
How dare you?
Life, and I know nothing about yours. So go ahead, open up.
Ask me a question. I don't know.
Okay, what was your longest relationship?
You had to start off with that one.
You told me to ask you anything.
2 years.
Okay.
On and off. Mm-hmm. That's like a lot of things.
How old did you guys start dating?
What's a, you everybody has like that, that young love, and it's like you try to make it work out. It's it's so innocent, it's so playful, and it's just like I don't know, you just try to make it work, but situations and all that stuff end up happening, and you just I don't know, you end up figuring out that it simply only works in a situation, and then like if you want to make it work out in the same situation, and it works out. But at a certain point, I think you have to figure out those things. I think you have to figure out your outcome, and you have to figure out their outcome, and if they align, then they align.
I mean, starting off young in a relationship is really hard. Like your first love, I feel like as a person, like you'll always go back to, like, not.
You think so?
Not actually, but I think that they leave an impression on you more than anyone else that comes along.
Yes.
And like because they're there in your most transformative years, and that's why it's so hard.
More hormonal
because
years.
It's hard. Yes.
That's like I'm thinking of like I don't say there you go. I'm thinking about like me as a 15, 16, 17-year-old kid. I was like, oh gosh, hormones were going crazy.
Oh my god, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like any teenager,
teenage boy. Oh my god.
I'm just saying, like there's so much going on in your body right now that your body cannot process it.
Right.
So yeah.
And especially when you're trying to keep that relationship going, like when you're older, you have to grow together, and that's hard for some people. And like growing together rather than growing apart, and sometimes you like can't help it and you do grow apart, and you still love the other person like so much.
Even if you break up, I don't think you stop loving that person.
No, I don't think so either.
No, I just think
it's just that you guys know that there will be someone
100%
better that fits
like
you.
Yes,
that doesn't mean the love goes away or
no
like that.
And that's the thing, like circumstances happen. Wow, how do I put that? Like life happens, I guess. So because of that, I think people aren't prepared for whatever happens. I don't even know if this is advice. I'm just saying, like, just that alone, embrace it. But that doesn't mean that the emotional state that you're in is you're capable of handling it, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like, you could be thrown something, and then this is why I'm saying, like, always the timing of something. Maybe it's just not right. All that other stuff. I just think, then don't stop. Just keep doing what you're doing. Does that make sense? So at that point, it's just like if it does, you can make it work out at the end. But that's both parties. So at that point, hey, that's my roommate.
Hi.
But yeah, I think that's at that point. I'm trying to think. I don't know if this is advice. I'm just saying, like, that's what I think.
Okay.
Yeah. You can do whatever you want with that, but I'm just trying to think of what else.
Okay. Did you try to do you have any dating apps?
Quarantine is shit.
So shit.
Yes.
Yes.
Quarantine is shit. Did I delete them? And then I deleted them, then I brought them back, but they don't work. They don't work.
You don't think dating apps work?
They look.
Something to unpack. You don't think dating apps work?
Well, here's the thing. You, as a guy, you have to know if you're like fucking. If you were God given like 10 out of 10, oh fuck yeah, it works for you. But at the same time, like, shit, you have to like know yourself. Hell no, sometimes it wouldn't work out in my favor.
Right.
That does not diminish me though. Like I just think that's an ego boost. Like I think dating apps are an ego boost for guys that know and should know better.
Right. You're a charismatic person though. I feel like
How dare you
get most. Come on. You get most of your like. You're all. I feel like you're all about the vibe. Like you do well. What we like to call in the wild, like meeting people in real life. Like
I can talk to anybody cold calling.
Yeah.
Like cold turkey. Approaching.
Sure.
Yeah, cold turkey.
Not the
cold
right
turkey.
word.
No.
At all. But yeah, and like that must be hard over a dating app when you're like.
They're going off of a picture.
Yes.
You know,
it's very.
You understand that then? Like that's
I
what
understand
I'm. Like I don't, and I think for people that are in a disadvantage, maybe they're 5, 6, or 7, but they have money. They're funny. Maybe they have all this other shit. You don't see that on the app. That's what I'm saying. Yes, I'm a very charismatic person. I'm a very charming person. I would agree with that.
You've called you're a self-proclaimed charmer, so.
I did say that, didn't I?
Get a load of this guy.
But what I'm saying is that you use them for circumstances. People could be lonely. People could like just. If you're trying to find love on an app, no fucking way you're gonna do that. I don't think so. I just don't. Yeah.
I think for some people.
Maybe if you're old and on Match.com, maybe I don't know. Like, but if you're on Tinder, if you're on what's that new one? Hinge.
I think Hinge is one of the best ones.
I think it's just because it's new.
No. The podcast I listened to had the creator of Hinge on as a guest star.
Okay.
And there's a lot of science behind it, and I'm all for it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not disiluding the idea that it can't work for people.
Right. It takes a certain person though.
100%. And because of that, the idea of romanticizing somebody, the idea of like dating somebody, getting to know somebody, I think should come on with the confidence that you have physically with somebody. Like you go up to them, you talk to them.
I'm all about the vibes.
100%.
It's all about the vibes.
100%. I think at that point you know that's what dating is for. I think you know if you like the person or you don't. And that's why I think the virtual side of it can hinder that. And I'm not saying I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I'm just saying like people crave, I think men are just more visual than anything. So I'm speaking for men.
I feel like men have definitely a bigger pool like to choose from than women do, for sure.
What makes you say that?
Because I will be on like my guy friends' apps and like looking over their shoulder and like seeing what they got. There are so many hot women.
Okay.
And like 9 times out of 10, if you're looking at a couple, the woman,
you don't know if they're crazy,
the woman is hotter than the man. But we're talking about dating apps, which all you see is the looks first.
Exactly. And so
it's harder for men because they get all of these attractive women and they may not be up to that standard physically, but then the women are on this dating app and they're like, we're all the fucking hot guys. Like, I've never hooked up with or been on a date with anyone I met on a dating app.
Okay. See?
So I will say it's harder for men.
Exactly. And so this is what I mean. Like, you look on TikTok and you look on Tinder, you look on social media. I think it's all correlated to the idea that women do better on social media and do better on Instagram and all that stuff. For a guy, you got to either be funny, you got to be very good looking. You have just one criteria. But women, they can do one criteria and it literally makes all the other criteria bump up. And that doesn't matter. I mean, that just means that, dude, you got to know your playing field. Like if you know your playing field, then you could be at an advantage here. If you don't, oh, I'm so sorry, you poor souls. Like,
if I were to give advice, I would say it's all
Are you giving advice?
I'm going to give advice. Okay, if you are looking for, I don't even know if anyone's listening. I don't know if you're going to put this in there, but you are looking for, like, trying to get someone and you are a guy and you are looking for a woman on a dating app, the most important thing is your opening line. Like, that is, focus on that. Like, yes, have good pictures. If you put a fucking fish in your picture, delete it right away, please. No woman wants to see you holding a fish in your picture.
Okay, explain what you just said. Is that if you're looking for a girl, is that what you just meant? What do you mean by that? If you're just looking for a date, if you're looking to, no.
Okay, either way, honestly, it's all about your opener. Make sure
100% it's the only opener.
It's the opener. Like, that depends on whether the woman responds or not.
But see, that's the thing. It's that I just think the openers are even artificial. Like, at that point, it's not the opener. They're artificial. They don't mean shit. They're just going to look at the guy and be like, okay, that's hot. All right.
I don't know. If, like, okay.
Am I wrong?
I don't know. Like, okay, my boyfriend right now, he's not the hottest guy that's ever walked the earth. This is, like, very evident. He's not the hottest guy, but he's charismatic. He's a charmer. He's funny. Like, we vibe. Like, we have the same sense of humor, stuff like that.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. I like him.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah.
But if I would have saw him on a dating app, maybe he's cute enough. I would have swiped.
No, that's
I would have
the
swiped a
but
little bit
no,
there.
you
I
wouldn't
think,
have.
no,
No,
I
see,
think
like
I
you
would have.
no,
I would have
like,
been hesitant, but I would be like, I'm gonna give this guy a shot, and I like him. But if he had if he just said, "Hey, what's up?" I wouldn't have responded. I'd be like, "This is lame. I don't want to focus on a conversation with a guy I don't know." But like, if he, I don't know, like said something funny or like that pertained to my profile or like pertain to like my interests or something that he found from my profile, I would like be more likely to respond, you know?
I agree.
Like, and that's for everything. Like even when
well, I don't know about that. Okay,
no,
well, explain.
not everything,
Okay, explain.
But like, you know, when you get a text or something, like when you texted me and you were like, "It's Johnny," I like whatever, and I said asterisk Jonathan, because if you guys didn't know, Johnny's real name is Jonathan. And I
don't
thought
know
that was,
and
I
she's
thought,
totally falsified. We're living in a false news stage, and I'm sorry, guys, this is all false news.
I thought that was funny, and I could have just said okay or thumbs up and end of discussion. But I said that, which is funny, and like he responded, like I made him respond in a way. You know what I mean? Very. It's about the opener. I'm telling you.
I'm not disagreeing with you with the opener. If I take the idea of it's all about the opener and not technology sense, you're not wrong. It's about the opener. It's how you present yourself.
It's still artificial though, dating apps.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But if you would say it's about the opener in a physical sense, like you go and meet somebody, yeah, it's about the opener. You and they don't teach this in school. They don't. You guys just learn this or don't learn it. Like it sucks for the people that don't. It also sucks for the people that don't have fun. It just sucks for those people. What ends up happening is this is from my perspective is that people get stagnated on their current value. Yeah, and what I mean for a guy is if they think they did good and they're doing good, they're just going to stay in that little bubble. They don't go and explore.
Okay.
As a guy. And with that being said is if you did good in high school, you were probably the best person, but in sports, super charismatic, you had all this stuff, and you see that as just your face value of who you are as a guy, that's a bad thing. I think you're always going to be transcendent. You're going to fail. You're going to do all these different things to hinder yourself, not just your appearance, but yourself. And if you're not confident in yourself, confidence goes a long way. And I say that because looks are a depreciating value. Confidence is a big thing. That goes with how you interact with your opener. If you combat that,
confidence is hot.
100%. And so because of that, people have to practice. People have to learn how to fail. People have to learn. I'm talking about guys. Guys have to learn how to not get go for that 10. Oh, okay. Never mind. It didn't work out. Don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged. Go get another number. Go get it. Right. Go talk to another woman. It doesn't matter. And at that point, that's where you start realizing, oh, okay, I'm good. I'm getting better. I think of those as there are failures, but they kind of help you. Something. Yes. And the people that fail and don't think you learned anything, those are the people that stay. They stay how they are. They stay.
The people who peak in high school.
That's why I brought up high school. Is just like the people that I
know plenty of those.
100%. And even the people that already have kids. I'm not second guess. I love all of my friends. I love everybody. It's just you're gonna do your own thing. You're gonna think whatever you think is comfortable. Think after 4 years you want to get married. Go do all
Everyone
that stuff.
has a different path.
Everybody has a different path. And at that point you have to realize what your path isn't anybody else's. That's why I think social media is getting to people, is because now you're comparing you're not at that pace, and you feel like you're comparing your pace with that pace. You shouldn't be doing that. People should not be doing that, and that's what stagnates men, I think, with growing. And I think that's a bad thing, because men have to find a purpose. They need to find something to be good at. If you're really good at something, be passionate about it, because that is what brings out confidence. Like I've always known I'm good at drums. I don't care who likes it, who doesn't. I
That's
like
for
doing,
you.
yes, and I'm not going to compare another drummer with me. I just look at that and say he is good. I want to learn from that and know that. Like use that same mentality for like other guys also. Like guys are very we try to alpha each other up, and so because of that
So funny.
oh, it's so funny. I just love it. I love
It's
it.
interesting to watch. It really is.
100%.
Oh my god, at parties,
yes.
in college. Oh my god.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Like jealousy is always going to be a thing. Like and I think that's a healthy thing. I think it's a healthy thing. It reminds you, it tells you like, hey, you need to work on some shit, or hey, you need to do this, or hey, just don't worry about it. It's okay. It's cute. But I think at that point, people start learning like, all right, I know my strengths and I like my strengths. If she likes my strengths, she likes my strengths. But you got to be able to say it like that. That's all I got to say for that.
That all stemmed from, do you have any dating apps?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I don't.
So do you? Because you're a politician. You never really answered the question.
I said I deleted it and then I got it back. Am I using it right now? No, I'm not using it right now. Yeah.
Have you ever gotten anything from a dating app?
Yeah, I have. Dates per se. But here, have you ever heard of the idea of like, you should never date somebody, or I don't know, date from the environment that you're in. Like if you like the environment, like I like going to coffee shops. I like going to art studios. I like listening to music. I want to go visit, like I want to go meet
people at those environments.
I want to meet women that way.
But they say to go outside of your environment?
No. I just think like
in your environment.
Yes, like the environments that you feel like would thrive. Like if you for yourself, like you like going to art studios, you like going to breweries, you like going to all that stuff. Go there and then go see who you meet. If you meet somebody at a party and you feel like that right there is like the staple of like what's gonna happen. It's like, no, I don't know if it's gonna last. So because of that, I just think I would rather thrive that way than kind of like social media or dating app wise. I think it's more authentic, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
Yeah. So that goes from there. I don't really use it as much as I don't know. A lot of people use it right now because of quarantine.
It's very
That's what I would say. A lot more people were lonely in quarantine, and you're just like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I think everything happens for a reason, though.
I agree. I do agree. I'm not gonna get into it in this podcast, but it's just like a lot that's happened like in the last months where I'm just like grateful for. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad. You just you have to experience them, and because of that, it's like that grows you for like the next big thing. Like shit. I'm so glad I get to do the podcast again. Like that's like it rendered me just because I didn't know how people are like. They're like, no, I don't know. Do I have to wear a mask or do you do it online? I'm like, nah, I don't like doing it online.
Yeah,
see, it's
so different. And you were so excited editing your stuff.
Yeah,
you were like, I get to start my podcast.
Yeah, man. But see, that's what I'm passionate about. I love that stuff. It's a fucking grind, but that's the thing. Like how I'm that mentality. I still have like. With Zoom, like how like you can put a podcast and have a podcast that way with a conversation.
Sure, it's different.
It's different. I just don't think it's the same whenever it's just like like right here, right in front of you. You feel different. You feel the energy.
The vibe.
Yes, exactly.
Vibes, all about the vibes.
And I take that into also relationship like
sure.
That's why
100%.
I don't know. I think there's a lot to delve into that have to do more than just the beginning. Does that make sense? So dating apps are more for the beginning, and after that it's like
I think they're to help you like initially start and maybe find someone that you can try with and like see where it goes.
Okay.
And like I know a lot of people that will go on first dates with a lot of guys on dating apps, but rarely do a second date. Because once you get in front of someone, like you could be talking to someone on a dating app and
Yes.
like, oh, you enjoy that. And then you actually get in person and it's completely different.
You think it's the interaction that
Yeah.
people like more? Is that just the interaction that you have somebody and you feel something with, like, interactively?
Yeah. I think it's very easy to get like caught up in talking to someone online.
Yeah.
Because you get to keep like that distance and not so personal, but you always
Yeah.
have something to go back to and
Whoa,
be like when
that's
you're bored.
crazy. Is that a good or a bad thing? See?
It could be both.
And this is why I'm saying, like, the whole idea of
Probably
loneliness in America, I think, is a bad thing. And I don't know if that helps. Like, it should help. But I just don't. The stemming of the problem is loneliness in America. How do we solve that? And I think social media is making that worse.
Especially
In
like,
dating.
in quarantine.
Oh, in quarantine, yeah.
Yeah.
It was shit. For any bachelor out there that didn't have anybody, I'm so sorry.
I mean, I got back together with my boyfriend in quarantine, so. And honestly,
I meant it for the guys. Like, the guys, I'm so sorry for them. Like,
why the guys? Why not the girls?
oh my God. It's easier for the like, I just think for the guys, especially in quarantine, it's just like, oh man, I don't know.
I feel like guys have this misconception that
I didn't
guys
say
are
it was a
horn
misconception.
dogs and they're so like horny all the time, and
Guys
they don't
are horny,
have, yeah, but
100%.
also women are horny
Oh, I
as
agree.
well.
I 100%
Like I think
agree.
people forget that. Like like a few months ago, like whatever.
Yeah.
I left my number on a receipt for my server. This was pre-quarantine. And he actually texted me. It was the first time I had ever done anything like that.
A serving? I was like, okay.
My server. I thought he was really attractive. Whatever. And he messaged me and like we talked for like maybe 2 days or something. And then he goes, I want to be honest with you and not waste your time. I'm like I honestly like want to fuck you. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, all right, I'm good with that. Because like
That's straight up right there.
like I'm single, I'm horny, and I'm not getting action anywhere else, and you want to, so like why not? And he was so surprised. He's like, wait, really? Like you're okay with that? I'm like, yes, women can want sex too. Like I think that's important. I really do. Like women want to get their nut too, and like we it's like 10 times harder for women to get their nut. So
Oh, I see, and this is what I'm saying. Like, the people that get married, I'm so sorry for the guys that get married. Like, they wait until marriage.
oh,
That's what I meant to
that's
say.
not for me
No,
because
100%
I think
no,
the
it's not.
sexual life is very important.
Oh, very
and you're
important.
like, oh my
For the-
god, if you have sex on your wedding night and it's not your cup of tea, what the fuck
Dude,
do
you
you do?
are fucked for the rest of
You're
your life until you get
fucked.
divorced, and that's part of like that sucks. But that's what I mean is that for the people that
And I also think it creates a whole different like level of intimacy between you and
yeah,
the
but see,
like,
people get okay with that. Like they get okay with that level, and I'm just like, dude, you
do you
could have
mean?
like, what if they can't do anything, and you know they're already married, and they have like for the guy they have to be okay with it. Like,
okay with it sucking.
yeah,
Oh my god.
see, that's why.
That's problems come along there.
Oh, 100%. And this is what I'm saying. Like, I feel sorry for the people that wait that long. I'm like, dude, no, go and experience. That's what it's for. Like, dating is like, I mean, stay safe. Like, wrap it up. Don't, do whatever you can to make sure, don't get pregnant and any fucking just, I'm dumb as fuck. Let's just clarify that again. But what I'm saying is, part of a guy, he has to know how to really pleasure their woman, and that is in every aspect. I think that is also a key thing to know. Like, and this is like going into like other stuff, but it's like what 20%, 30% of women can only go off of like straight up intercourse, and then
it's
like
8 to 20%.
See, look, this is why
8
like
to
I'm dumb as fuck. I don't know shit.
Percent
but
of women
I'm bringing it up.
can orgasm from straight penetration.
Yep. And then like for the guy, they feel so they feel so demasculated if they feel like they can't do that for their woman. Like if they can't fuck like, and you got to understand, like, no, dude, you have to learn all these other ways. Like you have to do different things. You have to try all these different things. But let's just say for that woman, and it might take for a long time, and
Yeah.
it's whatever. It's just dude. That's the whole point of like being okay with what you can do, and also being okay with you're comfortable around it. And that's what I think dating is for. Like
Yeah,
dating,
exploring that.
exactly. Because at that point, you're a guy can be in an advantage, and that can help out the women also if the guy knows what he's doing. The guy doesn't know what he's doing, then I'm sorry, that sucks.
But I think a lot of people that get like that don't agree with us and do wait till marriage, I think it's because they trust their partner to go and explore that. Like they want the person they experience that with and explore those things with to be their husband, like locked down. That's not our cup of tea,
No,
obviously. But
like,
from their perspective, I think that's
did you grow?
part of the
Did you grow up here, like in Florida?
like since I was 7, I did, yeah.
Oh, so you grew up in the Bible Belt, I guess. So this is considered the Bible Belt.
I am Catholic. I'm not a practicing Catholic. I don't go to church, but I got my confirmation and my communion. I went to school, like Sunday school.
That's great. On paper, it looks great, but no, okay.
It's not my cup of tea.
No. Yeah, I grew up in Texas, so I mean, that was the ideal thing to do, and it's just like, man. Like by that time when I started growing up, it was like 2010s, and like going into the 20s, I was like the teens going into the 20s. It's like, hey, this isn't right. Like I don't feel like, I think a lot of people started noticing that, and that's why like the whole, even like the LGBTQ community, all that stuff started like coming out, and that all was like on the idea of like, no, it's not all just the religion based thing. Like, you can do whatever you want. Just like don't get all discouraged just because Catholicism and all this stuff says differently. Granted, I'm dumb as fuck. You can believe whatever you want. Just saying, like, doesn't matter what you believe or not. I just think if it's not your cup of tea, then it's not your cup of tea, dude. That's it.
Yeah, and like you don't have to practice that then.
Exactly.
Like, but I feel like people need to like mind their fucking business when it comes to like certain stuff. It doesn't have to do with you, and it doesn't affect you at all. Then
no, and look, and this is what I'm saying. Like,
and like we're able to like talk about like sex before marriage, and like we don't have to partake in that practice of waiting until marriage. But like if people do, good for them. That's for them. Like that doesn't affect me in any way. Like I have an opinion on it, as do like they do, but
I feel like it's the popular opinion. It's just hindered. It's just silent. Like a lot more people are talking about it, but like now they want to talk about it in a better sense, like this. Like I like this is a better sense of talking about it because people can like, oh, that makes sense. Oh, right. Okay. You're right. Yeah, that does make. Oh my God, let me write this down. See, that's what I'm saying. Like people are thinking like that.
Makes
now.
you think about it.
Yes. So the idea of like waiting, and I feel so sorry for them. Like, I just think you gotta be ready for that person that you feel like you want to spend the rest of your life with, and whoever it is, it doesn't matter. It's just like, I think you will learn to be accustomed to like your surroundings. But I also think you should be in good health. So that's my also thing.
Like protection?
No, I mean good health. I think that stems from like physical, like for a guy, I think being in good health kind of is a good quality to have. So guys, stay in good health. That's all. I mean, that's you heard that? Heard that.
Stay in good health. Guys.
That's what I mean. It just, it's emotional, but it's also like physical. Like
are you into fitness, Johnny? I can't tell at all.
That's good. The dad bod is in. The dad bod is in. I'm sad to say that the dad bod is in. I just know I'm not in that criteria, and I'm okay with that.
I get that. I feel like dad bods may be in, but like non-dad bods are never out. You know what I mean?
I 100% agree. I think
that they are coexisting.
Okay,
right
so
now.
there's this. What's his name? Ruins everything. What's his name? Something ruins everything. It's a show.
I probably don't know what you're talking about.
It's Adam ruins everything. That's what it's called.
I've never heard of that.
Okay. Adam ruins everything. There's this one episode he talks about alphas and betas. I don't know what you think about that, or if there's like, you know, the difference between that, and if that's even a thing, alphas and betas, like in guys. Do you think that's a thing?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, so why?
Because I've seen it.
In what way?
When I give me your perception of alphas and betas are, and I'll work off of that. Because I want to see where you're going from this, and then I'm going to add to it.
Okay, I think so the best way that someone I listen to on a podcast, he puts it, he's like, I'm never going to be a Shaquille O'Neal.
Okay.
And so at that point, you got to know, like, I am not going to be this 6 foot tall, dark, and handsome guy. But you got to know that you have strengths. Work with those strengths. And for people that are naturally gifted, like Shaquille O'Neal, if they know their strengths, they could be a alpha. Like they could be somebody that is like, I know what I'm doing. And betas, I think, are, let's just say, 97% of, I'm just kidding, not 97%. But it has to do with a lot of like the self-worth, self-confidence of a guy, like the way they carry themselves, the way they dress, the way they talk to people, all of that stuff accumulates to them being an alpha or beta. A beta can mean you're not self-confident in yourself. You
think betas can become alphas though?
I do think so. Yeah. I 100%. That's why I bring up the thing of like naturally gifted people like Shaquille O'Neal, like or like naturally talented or naturally good-looking people. They could have this essence of being an alpha, but they like that. Like they don't need to really work for it. Mostly, almost every other like guy has to work for it. They have to be an alpha, or they have to know like you're probably not going to be in that criteria.
For sure.
And because of that, you have to work for it.
Right.
So because of that, I think you can work you can be an alpha if you wanted to. But people, I think now in society, don't want that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This whole idea of simping is out of control. Did I strike a nerve?
Simps are real. Simps are very real.
What's your connotation with that? Like, do you think it's a good or a bad thing?
I think it's hilarious.
I think it's fucking hilarious.
Fucking funny. But I think
it's in younger generations too.
Yes.
Let me just say that. I've dealt with it. Oh my god, I shouldn't even be saying this, but it's like 19, 20-year-olds, but they're more lean left, and they think simps are awesome, and I'm just like,
that's because Sims tend to. Let me tell you why they think.
Okay,
they're awesome.
Please explain.
Let me tell you why they think
this
they're
is.
awesome.
I
Sims
love this
tend to,
podcast right now. You know how great this is. We're 2 hours in. See, I told you this.
You
is
can
awesome.
edit whatever you want.
Oh no, this is still going in. I'm just sorry for the people that this is not on video. If you could
is the
see,
video not going?
Not anymore. It's just a podcast.
Are your videos live?
Yeah. Oh no, they're not live. No, they're not.
Oh, you edit
I
them?
had to edit them.
Okay.
Yes. So for the most part, until I run out of, what ended up happening is my freaking camera ran out of battery, so I had to use my phone.
Oh
But
my God,
yeah, I
you weren't
know.
prepared for me.
How dare you? I was prepared for the first one, and then you said you want to come on too, and I was like, oh, shit, okay, I'm gonna put you in. I was like, ugh. Okay.
You invited me on.
I did invite you on. That's what I'm saying. But you said yes, and I was just like,
of course.
All right, fuck, I gotta freaking put that in. And I was like, all right. So now I have to edit it in to splice it. So I have to get the audio, put it with the video, put the video on there. But sometimes it's just audio, so it's fine.
Okay, so let me tell you why people think that Sims are awesome and amazing. Because Sims typically, the connotation with them is that they like fawn over like women or the person that they're with, and people love that. They love to be like have someone obsessed with them and like fawn over them or whatever. And that's why people think like, oh, simps are awesome. Like, oh, they're such a simp. They're so sweet. But like people call like my boyfriend a simp, and it's fucking hilarious. It's hilarious. No, because like I see it. I see it. It's true. But like sometimes I'm like, stop simping. Like give me some.
Give me some macho. Give me something to grab onto.
Yes. And
you got that Latin fever.
Yes.
Man,
Show it to
if you
me.
could see our emotions right now, just the
Like,
way we're just going
I
off.
wish we're all over the place. I'm like,
You're just like, I'm so glad I got this table. This was $20, by the way. Did you know
oh
that?
my
I
god.
fucking, that's what I'm
Oh
saying.
my god! When my parents first moved to Florida, they went to Goodwill and they got like a $10 table from Goodwill, and it's still around.
Good.
Not in our kitchen, but I took it when I moved to college
Yeah.
and I moved into a house and we took it. Oh my god, they're never getting rid of that thing. It's lasted
I'm
years.
telling
and it
you.
was like $10.
I'm telling you.
Anyways,
Anyways,
um,
Simps, fuck them.
yeah, no, I think like I honestly like I love the word, but okay, you've seen Gossip Girl,
I've seen TikTok, and TikTok
but have you seen Gossip
has
Girl?
Gossip Girl in it, and
Okay,
Gossip
Dan
Girl.
Humphrey. You know who that is?
Is he the gay one? No.
No, have you seen You on Netflix?
Oh my god.
The main guy in that.
Okay.
He is
yes.
Dan Humphrey in Gossip Girl, and he is a simp. Period.
In real life or in
the show.
in the show? In the show. Okay.
The character.
I
is a
think
simp.
a lot of the shows portray guys as being simps though. A lot of TV things.
Sure, and a lot of the times guys aren't simps, and that's why people romanticize romance movies because they're like, "Oh my god, that guy is so sweet." and he's
I
such
think
a
I'm
simp."
disagreeing with you there.
You're disagreeing
Yes, hardly
on
because
what?
I think most guys are how they're portrayed in movies are seen as simps.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Then what?
and
am
I think that creates like an unrealistic expectation for women.
Yes, that's why they like romance
That's
novels.
what I was trying to
okay. Then
say.
yes, we agree.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Really?
How?
Please tell me
whoa.
more. I would like to be.
Shawnee, are you
intrigued.
okay? You need some coffee?
But yeah, and I think the idea of simps is like it's cute. Like you want a guy to like be obsessed with you, but like also like no, the
adorable,
guy
huh?
has to like have a life of his own.
Hell
you
yeah.
know, I don't like women shouldn't want a guy that's gonna do what they say all the
everything
time
they do.
and like have your own little like servant. Like no, like you have to be your own like two people in
At
a
that point, he's a
relationship.
pushover.
Yes, aka a simp,
Yes.
a pushover.
Yeah. So I don't, and that's the thing. I think I don't know why women are clamoring for that, and that's I just maybe it's with this whole
Because
idea
they
of like
because it's so hard to find, and when they find it, they're like, oh, because
I don't want it.
men are so likely to like, you know, like sometimes men are trash, and they like.
Oh, men are
they-
delicious trash. I'm just
Yes.
saying, like they will go after anything.
Yes, and it's easy for men to like cycle through women, and like women know
Sometimes
that.
they-
So when they find a simp, they're like, "Oh my god! For the first time, I can control a guy, and a guy is like fawning over me, and I'm not fawning over a guy." They live for that shit.
Here's the thing. Here's where I can understand. There are some very masculine women out there, and I think that's. Do you know the essence of feminine essence and masculine essence, and
Yes.
how we both have both of them in us?
Yes.
There are guys that happen to be more feminine than other guys.
Oh yeah.
And at that point, those guys can be sort of alpha if they know themselves. But at the same time, I think most of those guys are going to be straight up. They're straight up betas.
Yeah.
Like,
When
and
I think of like alpha, I think of like football player,
Yes.
like typical jock,
Yes.
that stereotype is typical alpha.
Yes, it's the stereotypical stuff that has rang true throughout time. And that's what I'm saying about some women are essentially some women are stronger. They tend to be more masculine. Does that make sense? Is that they're more prone to accept a beta.
Right.
So if they're more masculine, then the guy has to be a little bit more.
The woman, you mean?
No, if the woman is more
Yeah,
masculine,
okay.
then the guy has to be a little bit more. And that's what I'm saying. Like for a guy who is very alpha or very up there, very they want a feminine woman.
Yeah.
So
oh my
that's
god,
like,
if they get like a masculine one,
Oh,
come on,
shit.
man. Shit's going down.
it's like bunch heads. Don't get me wrong. Like they can make it work. There's some people that can't, but that's if they're both kind of like, oh, we're both a little bit this, a little bit of that. But you don't get that a lot. You get the natural masculine and feminine qualities.
Right.
That's why I think the people that simp over simps they think they're more masculine. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
The women.
Yeah.
That's why I think.
Yeah.
I think that's the idea. That's
'Cause
going
typically
around in
men
my head.
have the power, so it's when women have a
Have the
simp and
power.
they think they have the power, they're
Oh,
like,
they're
hell
like,
yeah.
give me that. Give me that.
So overall,
Scrawny.
where's the me?
Well, there's no me. There's people that I don't know.
No, overall, simps, good in theory, but in actuality,
It's not gonna last. I don't know. Maybe it can last, but at this point, I just say like, have your fun. But at that point, it's just like, all right, just know yourself. If you know yourself and you know you're gonna be a natural beta, then thrive off that. Be good with that.
And that's not to say don't like experience like different things.
Oh, what do you
I'm
mean?
all for experiencing everything.
What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
Like, I'm just one of those people that like I try not to say no to opportunities or different experiences if something comes my way. So if a simp comes my way, I'm not going to be like, no, you're a simp, fuck off.
Bend over.
But I'm going to be like, oh, what's this simp life about?
Oh,
Let's see what this is about.
But do guys say they're simps? That's another thing.
No, I think guys hate that.
I hate it.
Yeah,
I hate it.
yeah.
I'm like,
no, it messes with their masculinity, of course. And
but
we all know about toxic masculinity.
Here's the thing. I've heard some guys already say, dude, yeah, I'm a simp, and I'm like, oh, dude.
But they're ashamed to admit it, though. They're like, I know I'm a simp, but like, I'm a simp. You know?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
No, I have not seen a guy that is like, yeah, I'm a fucking simp.
No.
What about it? No, never seen it.
No.
Doesn't exist.
No, this is making me laugh. I'm so sorry if there's like guys out there that really take this serious. You shouldn't, but if you do,
we're just shooting the shit
dude.
here.
Yes, and we're just calling it out as it is. And I'm so glad I have a woman on here that can kind of talk shit also, because this is awesome.
Yeah, and this is all in good fun. Like,
dude,
it's just our opinion.
Literally, like.
We're not saying we are right. We are just.
I'm saying I'm 100% right, and she's 100% wrong.
Like, I'm right to me.
Yeah, and
my opinion.
I'm just just trying to overpower the.
This is your alpha energy coming out.
Fucking, and okay, so now that we're kind of getting into that, also, it's just the idea of feminism and all that stuff is how I think that has a direct correlation to simps.
Okay. Explain. Elaborate.
Let me elaborate. While I elaborate, I'm out of coffee. Well, I'm feeling it. But I see some of the strengths that a lot of this whole feminism movement has done. I agree with some aspects of it.
And what aspects do you not agree with?
Oh god, this is about to get controversial. So.
Oh my god, am I about to disagree with you on something here?
I think we've disagreed on not a lot, but good some. Here's my dilemma: is I think the guy, and I think this is my masculine side talking, because I think this is why I like the foundations of like traditional dating. Some people, the whole consent thing and all this other stuff, is just it gets overly proportional with the idea of like the over censorship and the cancel culture and all that stuff. And I'm not saying it's an issue. I think it's admirable. Like, I think it's okay, but just like how I see it with younger generations, like in this whole simp thing, I just think it's like there's going to be a certain point where a lot of this woman power thing is going to come out and play. And I'm not saying like it can't get overdone, but what I'm saying is it's definitely altering the idea of what masculinity is, and they're trying to restructure what masculinity is. And I don't know if that, since this is why I bring up the idea of what you think, if there is alphas and betas, and if there is a traditional, why we always think that this sort of physicality has always been throughout time a thing, like why we think it's attractive. that
I feel like I don't know where you're going
I
with like pertaining to like feminism.
I think I feel like they're altering the way that men are, and there's the reason I think simps. Like that's why, like
Okay.
that's the reason why I think that there's a correlation with that.
Okay.
And with that, they're trying to, I would say demasculate, but not really demasculate.
Mhm.
I just think it's like, oh God, like let just guys be guys are. Why are guys like guys? You know, like I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I don't know
You're
what I'm
you're
saying.
you're referring to the boys will be boys kind of thing?
Not really, because I think there are some sensitive
Cuz that's a
guys.
way for like men to like not take accountability for their fucked up
No,
actions.
I do think you should. I do
Uh-huh.
think you should. I just don't think. I don't. I don't. I don't know if it's if the idea of I like the idea of feminism, like, but I just think that there's some things in that whole idea that I feel like will get overly portrayed, especially for men, how they see men from now on. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, and I think that it draws out of like, what if this whole simp thing ends up being more of like more prone for younger generations? What is that going to do for in their hormone stage? Like, are they going to be that same sort of person? Like, if 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 more estrogen gets pumped into like a guy, and this is what I'm saying, like, especially in the hormonal stages, like the where like the testosterone and estrogen in a boy's body ends up being like, um, I don't know, they go back and forth a lot.
Mhm.
And what I'm saying is that people with guys that have more estrogen in their body end up having more like they have more man boobs and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, if it can alter that, like mentally, I don't know what it's gonna do to the guys, especially when they start growing up more. Like,
What like okay.
because I see how it is, how it's affecting the whole simp movement on younger
Mhm.
generations, and if it keeps going down to these generations, this whole idea of like what is gender, what is not, what is all this stuff, I think it stems from these ideas. See, this is what I'm saying. Like some of this stuff of feminism, I agree with. Like
Mhm.
that um, they should have more power. They should have more
Mhm.
opportunity. They should have all these different things. But there's some in there that is like getting guys. It's making more sensitive guys have more power, and I don't understand
Mhm.
that. I'm just trying to say, instead of giving them more power, why don't they just, you know, get better at being a better guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that's like
That's where I'm
like
going on.
a misconception, and I think the feminist
Please,
movement
yeah,
is
please
more
elaborate, because
focused on like decreasing the toxic masculinity,
okay.
not masculinity, period. Masculinity in its most toxic
But
form.
some
So
some
stuff
people
like
think that
sometimes
toxic masculinity is
masculinity,
masculinity.
and that's where
That's
that's
where
just like a miseducation.
I don't. And I'm not saying, maybe like it just maybe depends on person to person, but
Mhm.
sometimes it's just like, it's like, whoa, hey guys, like I just feel like guys. There's a reason why guys hang out with guys, and girls hang out with girls. It's because y'all have a certain language, just like guys have a certain language. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
And like with that, I just feel like now there's these in
And
betweens.
I don't think the feminist movement is trying to like bring all of those guys down to
No,
like the
yeah,
in
yeah,
between level.
100%, yeah.
I think that it may have like gotten that way because they are trying to take the people like the toxic masculinity
Okay,
alphas per
I
se.
can see that.
They're trying to knock them down a bit.
Okay.
And I think when you're doing that on such a wide scale, that it like the lines between those can get blurred. You know what I'm
And
saying?
that's what I mean, is the lines that get blurred. That's what I'm
Mm-hmm.
more referring to.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm saying, like, we can use even like BLM, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's some lines that get blurred in that people just kind of like raise an eyebrow, and they're just like, I don't know. And then, it's just like those lines that are blurred, I think should have some light, need light, because then they don't get talked about. And that's even saying like, dude, I'm a guy. Like, I think I'm more accepted in all this other shit. I shouldn't even be arguing about it. But I just think it's like, this is what I'm saying, like the future generations to come, I'm just like, whoa, this is gonna alter a lot of the way that men think. I don't know if it's a good or bad thing. I'm just saying that's
yeah, I
what
was
I'm
about to say, like maybe it'll be better. Like who knows?
this is what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm just saying that to put it out in the universe.
Like right now though, like they're trying to make change because what's going on now is like it's not working, it's not right, like you know
that. Okay,
so rather than staying the same, they're doing something to try and change it. And then if it does change for future generations and we realize, oh, it actually is worse rather than better, then that's something that you have to like reconstruct and reconsider when when it
happens.
But like,
do you think like something bad would happen and then that's when they would consider it?
I think that's usually how it
works
for like
everything.
Yeah.
Right? Like something big has to happen in climate change for climate change to actually be in the forefront.
Yeah, and then sometimes it's still not even in the forefront.
100%. Like with the BLM, something big happened for it to be in the forefront.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's just like even how I talk about social media, something big, and I think AI is going to be that big thing. That big thing is going to end up happening where, oh shit, now we got to focus on this because now like robots are fucking taking over. I don't know. That's where I'm stemming from. But
have you seen the Ex Machina?
It's one of my favorite movies.
Oh my god, that is frightening.
It is very frightening. Okay, so we're talking about like sex and shit. So we're getting on sex robots.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh shit.
Bro.
Okay, so
that's gonna change the game for so many people, and like
this is the in-betweeners that I'm just talking about.
There's already like those weird guys that like have relationships with inflatable women. Like, can you fucking imagine?
Okay.
Can you fucking imagine?
I can. I'm
sure you can.
What does that mean?
Being an alpha.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Here's my dilemma with that. Men are gonna stick their whatever in anything. That's all I'm saying. And what I mean to say is, okay. Anyways, to let them have a sex robot, I think it would be ideal.
Beneficial?
Yes.
It won't break as many hearts.
I think it's an adaptation, and I think there's already a lot of adaptations that are happening without sex robots. That implementing sex robots, I think, would be beneficial, but also it could be controversial.
Well, let's say.
Uh-oh.
Well, no. Let's like.
What if?
Well, like, what if like sex robots like were actually a thing? Honestly, I think teen pregnancy would go down. I think the
amount of like
sexually transmitted diseases would go down.
The amount of rapists would go down. They would like all these different viewpoints that we know would go down.
Yeah.
So controversial. I wouldn't say like I think we're.
But I don't want robots to be a thing. I think they're extremely dangerous.
Wait, robots or sex robots? Any kind of robot.
Any kind of artificial intelligence, I do not fuck with.
Man, Ex Machina definitely changed my perception. Have you seen her?
Yeah, I have only watched the first half.
You didn't see the second half? That's when it gets good.
No, it's hard to get into because I'm like, this is fucking creepy.
Okay,
it's weird.
I'm just saying.
To me.
Well, all I'm saying is that there's already people that like. If they like, you know how we talked about like the loneliness in America and how people like if you don't have to deal with the whole idea of like meeting other people, you just can text them.
Right.
I think that same idea can stem from like even just hearing their voice.
Okay.
So I think that a lot more people are gonna like her, like. So I think that's gonna be your first like sex robot thing.
Okay. I still don't fuck with AI.
I'm just saying.
So you're saying like,
I'm just saying, as humans, I think we are easily fooled, and for anything, and we fall for shit all the time. And so for us to get fooled on a AI thing, I don't think that's out of the. I think that could happen.
No, yeah, it's fucking terrifying though.
I agree.
No, I don't want it to happen.
No,
You're like, yeah, let's bring on the sex robots.
I'm just saying, like, man, I'm just looking at the benefits, and I shouldn't be like that, but at the same time, it's just like, I don't know, like, what
No,
can it be beneficial for
those
women?
sex robots will take over the fucking world. They could cause mass destruction. Is it really worth it to get your nut whenever you want? Like, you can already do that. You can already do that.
Yeah, but like, what I'm saying is, like, you don't think it would be beneficial for women, like, to have a sex robot?
For women to have a sex robot.
Yeah. See? Well, see?
No,
like,
it could be. No, I think that there in both sides it could be beneficial in many ways.
I'm just talking about a man's
perspective. I also think that the detriments outweigh the benefits.
On both sides, or you?
On both sides.
Okay, I agree.
Okay.
One is because that's why they haven't been done yet, and two, that's why they've made things. What?
I also think that.
Okay,
I'm sorry. I just came up with a thought. The sex robots for men are probably more beneficial, but for women, I think subconsciously we look for like more of an emotional.
What
route.
if they can put that in there? What if they can put that in the robot?
Oh my god.
Oh, see, they're like, I don't even have to deal with fuck men. Give me the robot.
No, that's too much. It's fake. It's like not like.
I agree.
It's not real.
We're looking at the benefits as a single person. Mm-hmm. You don't look at there's no benefits if you're already in a relationship.
But I crave like a real like connection with someone, and I can't get that from a robot.
But you don't know yet. What if they make it so real?
No, it's not real. It's artificial. It's literally called artificial intelligence.
I agree, but that's what I'm saying. The brain and humans can get fooled so easily.
Yeah, I just feel like it'll never be enough for me. You know I'm a Sagittarius. Like, I'm always like, it's not going to be enough for me.
Yeah, whoa, okay. I didn't know that was just because you're Sagittarius or just because, I don't know.
Well, being a Sagittarius, like, has to do with, like, who I am, like, my essence.
Oh, okay.
Who I am as a person deep down. All of you men are like the women in their fucking horoscopes.
No, I feel like no. I'm not saying women in their horoscopes. I feel like that is like the new religion for younger generations. Like
could be, yeah.
No, dude. I was like at a coffee shop and I met like a group of girls and they were just like,
"What's meeting girls at coffee shops?"
Man, I have a problem. Anyways, anyways, they were like, "What's your sign?" I'm like, oh, God. How old are you guys? Oh, okay. That makes sense. Anyways.
What was your sign again? Did you say Pisces?
Do you think I'm a Pisces?
No, I don't think you were Pisces. What did you say?
I'm sorry for all the Pisces. I love some Pisces. Pisces are great.
Capricorn. You're a Capricorn.
Oh, you think I'm a Capricorn?
What the fuck?
Whoa. I love Capricorns too. Man, I'm dissing on so many.
Wait, what are you? Just say it.
I'm a Libra.
A Libra. That's what it was. I was like, it's one of the most common ones in my life.
Capricorns?
Yeah, Capricorns.
Hey, Capricorns are hard workers.
Silence fills the room.
I was like, oh God, I don't know what to say about Capricorns. Okay, well, see, what's your mom? What's your mom?
My mom's an Aries.
Your mom's an Aries?
Uh-huh.
Okay. See, my mom's a Taurus.
I love Tauruses.
Yeah, I love my mom.
I think they're so comforting.
Some are very stubborn.
One of my best friends is a Taurus, and I just think they are stubborn.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah. They're comforting.
Yeah.
For me.
Okay. And your dad? What's he?
He is also an Aries, which is insane because my mom and my dad are complete opposites.
Whoa.
They are two.
It's like an opposites attract story.
Sure. Yeah. No. It was.
Oh, 100%.
My dad's like this like crazy like badass from the projects of New Jersey, and my mom was like a very well-educated, put together, like very smart like woman.
Hey, you always want what you can't have. And
I mean,
I'm just saying.
Yeah, no.
That makes sense.
Grass is always greener.
I'm just saying. Well, yes, but in that aspect, your mom was probably oh my God, I'm so formal, this, and then she sees this guy and
it was
like,
so different for
what's
her.
up, man? What's up, girl? Oh yeah, mommy. Come here.
And she was even like, she was in
She was like,
a store that the
What?
grocery store she used to work in. She was like,
Oh, no.
yeah. She's like, who is that?
This
and
guy's trouble. I
and
want
they're
it.
Portuguese, so like very
Dude,
Portuguese.
There's some horny people.
Oh my god, my parents are like, never date a Portuguese man. I was like, noted from experience.
Man, I just, you're not wrong. I mean,
No.
like Hispanics, even. I'm just thinking, I'm like,
Oh yeah, I heard never date Colombians. I have heard that.
Colombians, I love you guys, but
I have heard
the Sagittarius said don't date you. So
it's just
I'm
what
sorry.
I've heard. But yeah, no, my mom met my like dad in a grocery store. She was like, "Who is that?" And I was like, and her friend was like, "Oh, that's like my cousin's like cousin or some shit like that, like something small."
Yeah.
And she goes, "But you don't want him. He smokes." And my mom was like, "He's hot. I don't care." My mom's main thing was like, "I can't date a smoker. Smoking is disgusting." And then she sees my dad and she's like, "I don't care."
See, and that's what
Like,
I'm saying. You want what you can't have. You know that it's like, it makes it 10 times more attractive.
Yes.
So you're just like,
especially when like, oh my god, this brings me into like upbringing, like when you're raised a certain way.
Sure.
And then like let's say very religious people or something, and then they fawn over that like badass, like just to go against, like subconsciously, you know, go against it. And like a lot of people raised in like strict environments like rebel.
Yes. I think we rebel in general, and it's a very it's funny. Like growing up, I mean, I was raised around Hispanics. You tend to gravitate towards Hispanics, but then like slowly but surely we started like going out and just started dating like white girls, and I was just like, my mom's like, Mija, why don't you just date a Hispanic? I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to. I was just like, I don't know. Just that's what I would say. But now it just stems in the family. It's just crazy. Like you want what you can't have, so because of that, you'll go for it. So that's it's weird. I think it's ingrained somewhere in there. It goes with rebelliousness.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, we hit a lot of good points.
So many.
Yes, 100%. It is 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Wow, you're gonna have a lot of editing to do.
I know. I hate you. 2 hours and 31 minutes now. Well, guys, we're gonna end it here. This was a great intuitive podcast where we talked about film, we talked about politics, we talked about success, failure for a little bit. We talked about podcasting for a little bit. We talked about almost anything you can think of: sex, love, dating apps, almost everything we can cover, from feminism to masculinity, toxic masculinity, simps. Oh my gosh, this episode was it was just a jam-packed with so many things, and I'm so happy about that. That's the way a podcast should be, guys. The slice of life. We talked about so many aspects of this little world that the Sagittarius across the table thinks about all the time. It's crazy. It's crazy what you deal with them. Anyways, well, Savanah, thank you for coming on. Is there any platform that people can reach you on that you want them to reach you on? This also includes your podcast that you are going to be putting on later on.
I wish I could plug my future podcast right now, but that is so up in the air. But if you follow my Instagram, you will see updates for that. My Instagram is...
Wow.
Oh my God. My Instagram is _SavvyRose. That's _SavvyRose _SavvyRose. Sorry about that.
Just making my job a lot more harder. God, man. Anyways, yeah, that's where people can find her. Guys, you know the deal. The new name for this podcast is The Slice of Life. I will put a link down in the description down below. Hit a like, share it with everybody. I'm going to be posting short videos, long videos, this whole episode on YouTube, Spotify, Google Play, Apple, pretty much. Google, anything that you can think of, this podcast is going to be on. Guys, thank you for tuning in with me, Johnny on this side, and Savanah on the other side on Slice of Life. We'll see you guys later.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.